We got Dennis. We got Moose. What's happening, fellers?
Woo!
Oh, man. We are amped up and ready to go, man. So I have stories to cover. You know, some things I want to discuss, some wireline stuff, some fiber stuff, some rural stuff, some cable stuff, some telco, like in the traditional sense with the channel, wireless stuff. As a precursor, I guess I'll just let you guys know kind of the gist of the stories. So one is about fiber build-outs in 3 states: Louisiana, New Mexico, and Texas. Quite random in terms of those. Also, looking at rural providers moving towards broadband and mobile bundling. So basically following the footsteps of the industry from the bigger guys. And then, I don't know if you guys know WOW, the company, but I think they operate as Breeze Line in some places. I think.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay. And then, so we'll talk about them and what they're up to. I did a story. Well, I covered a story earlier this week about arbitrage and, you know, the whole like mobile service through cable. So I want to do a little bit there. And then specifically, we can then dive into Comcast and Charter and how they differ. I also want to get the pulse of the panel on Dish and their struggles. And then we'll end it up with Verizon, who got hit with a very dubious article today from Android Authority. So we'll discuss that at the very end to kind of cap off the night. So that's it. Let's go ahead and jump in. Let me hit the screen share, and then, of course, everybody knows what we're discussing as they come into the live chat. Big shout out to the nation. I see some members. I see some longtime subscribers and viewers. Shout out to the members as well as the mod squad. Appreciate you guys. Hit me with your favorite hashtag as we kind of go about our business here in the show. Okay, now this is a company I've never heard of. Vexus Fiber. They are on a pace currently building 12,000 passings per month in 3 states: Louisiana, New Mexico, and Texas. Okay, so Vexus building in Texas. Cool. All right, we like that. CEO Jim Gleason told Fierce they're constructing fiber on a pace of around 12,000 new homes passed per month, spanning roughly a dozen markets in Texas, 3 in Louisiana, 3 in New Mexico. The company has totaled a little over 300,000 fiber passings, aiming to reach north of 1 million passings over the next 5 years. Texas includes Wichita Falls, Laredo, Moose, help me out here. Nakaja Chacha. What is this? I've never heard of this place. Rio Grande Valley, San Angelo, Tyler, and Huntsville. Louisiana, Lake Charles, Alexandria, and Slidell. And in New Mexico, Albuquerque, Las Cruces, and Santa Fe. They are talking about 1 gig all the way up to 100 gig varieties of speeds. So I'm guessing they'll make pit stops at, 5 gig, 10 gig, 20 gig, 50 gig, whatever. Never heard of this company. Looks like they're building. They're raising private capital. They're looking for municipal funding. They're looking for investor funding. And I think based on how much funding they get, how deep they can build within each of these different markets. All right. Anybody here ever heard of this company? Anyone on the panel?
Only the name.
Vexus.
Yes, sir. And that's only because of whenever I do searches for different states, they came up as an ISP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never heard of these guys. But we need more of them. Wouldn't you say, Dennis? We need more companies like Vexus?
I mean, we need more companies like Vexus who are willing to deploy fiber. I'm super. I'd be way more interested to know what those other, like the place that they're building into. It'd be very interesting to know how they were being served currently. I'm really a big proponent of more of the utopia model, like what happens in Oregon. So like instead of private fund bucks, going to one company to build out into those places. I'm much more interested in like a co-op or like a publicly owned thing where then essentially the network gets MVNO'd off to a bunch of private companies so consumers can have choice in that manner.
Mhm.
But still, good to see fiber. I was looking at the career site, by the way. They're hiring over 700 positions, apparently. So
they're ready to grow.
yeah.
That's what that tells me. They're ready to build. They're ready to sell.
Well, that's the thing. They're not hiring. I mean, they have some fiber technician positions and some NOC supervisor stuff, but most of the positions are like retail sales consulting, customer service, graphic designers, mostly marketing stuff.
Oh, so it's like the technical business aspects, like operational stuff. Okay. Well, I'd take more of these guys across more cities, across more markets, across the country. Uh, eager. This sounds like they're eager to build or eager to sell. The only thing I would say is, like you said, are they going into places that have one other competitor or no other competitor? Because there are situations where you got a cable provider, the Armstrongs of the world, Comcast, Charter. These types of companies can come in and disrupt like a mother. But even if they go into a place with another fiber provider and maybe a cable provider, it brings welcomed competition. It probably drives pricing down a little bit,
I
right? So
mean,
a 1 gig fiber offer that would normally cost you $80 to $100, maybe it ends up costing you 60 because they get promotionally active.
it definitely brings, for the consumer, we're always happy to see it as consumers, right? We always want competition. The reason why I kind of had my nuanced stance is that there's a certain level of critical mass when it comes to traditional wireline telco that needs to be established in order for you to actually exist, stay around, and maintain, right? Like, by that, I mean, you mentioned Armstrong Cable. Armstrong Cable is pretty regional, pretty small, right?
Mhm.
But they have just enough subscribers to at least maintain and upgrade the network, but they're always like 5 years behind whoever the big cable co is, right? Like a big cable co is doing DOCSIS 4, Armstrong's just doing DOCSIS 3.0 across their footprint, OG 3.0, right? And then you got like other cable providers like Daredevil, or I'm not Daredevil, sorry, Blue Devil Cable, who are in like literally like 2 towns, and they never touched, like they were literally on DOCSIS 2.0, which I don't even know if you remember that specification. They were legitimately on DOCSIS 2.0 spec until literally like last year or like the year prior, whenever like the COVID was like mid swing. And the only reason why they finally did the upgrades and had the ability to do the upgrades is because they got government money. So I guess what I'm getting at is like Vexus needs to, it's good to have new competition, but they need to get big enough that they can generate enough revenue to both support, maintain, and continue to grow organically without relying just strictly on government fund bucks, which is a hard thing to do in this space, especially when you're small. Like everything, like just even getting like the actual raw materials, like the build of materials for the fiber, you're going to be playing second fiddle to like an AT&T who has the buying power, a Comcast has the buying power, the Verizon has the buying power. They get first dibs, first serves, and they can push you out for years on projects if you're not buying in large enough quantities from these suppliers.
All right, we got our first super chat of the night. This one, the seal broken by none other than S Blue Tech. Salute to you, sir. Thank you for the super chat. Thanks for always supporting the channel and all that we do here. All right, B, want to chime in?
Yeah, Dennis is right. I have nothing else to add. Dennis is right.
Well, damn. Moose, jump in.
It's very interesting. A lot of customers. Sorry, a lot of not customers. A lot of companies may be doing this moving forward and then sell off to somebody else like a Frontier or like an AT&T. I do have a very strong feeling that eventually, people are going to be like, if it's not a profitable area, because they don't know if it's a profitable area or not, right? Then they're like, well, might as well build it and then sell it to the highest bidder because people will buy it. So
For the right price, right?
Yeah, exactly. Regardless, good, right? It's all good.
Yeah, it eventually ends up in the right hands, then it's good.
Real quick before you move on to the next topic. On the topic of like building and selling, if this was like 10 years ago, I would say, yeah, that's like the strat, that's the move. But we haven't really seen an appetite really in at least from the players that would typically be doing this as their MO, like the Comcast, to actually be doing this, right? Like Comcast used to acquire all kinds of different smaller cable cos in various regions, but they kind of cooled down on that. They went with a more build it themselves approach because there's lots of challenges when you acquire a different company, from needing to integrate their customer database and systems into yours to get them on the right rate plans, to standardizing the infrastructure in that area, to having to support some of the legacy customers that are in non-profitable areas. Because a lot of times there's terms in these acquisitions. Like I know, for example, Comcast out in West Virginia has certain very tiny niche markets of or pockets of customers who are legitimately on like old school cable where it's just TV only, not even voice, no internet. It's just the base, like I'm talking limited basic channels, like the 30 channels or so are just the locals. That's all they get. Comcast has no desire to upgrade those customers. They're just waiting for the day when those lines break so that they don't even have to maintain them anymore. Like they don't want them because they're not profitable. And depending on where Vexus is building, right? Either Vexus is building in a place where Comcast would rather just do it themselves and have the owner's economics of all of it, or Spectrum or whoever the ISP is there, or they're building into places where it's not super profitable, and so the appetite or desire to acquire is going to be much lower from like a marketability standpoint, especially when we talk about the other tools now that are at telco's disposal with like fixed wireless, being dipped into. I don't think there's really the appetite in the market. The only telco company that has an appetite in the market to be buying fiber providers and not building it themselves would be a T-Mobile. But every other traditional telco has more than enough of the manpower ready and skilled labor to build their own fiber.
Yes, but it's a time thing. Right?
You're wrong, Dennis. That's not why they don't have the appetite. They don't have the appetite because what they've been doing with their money, with their free cash flows for the last few years, is some of the most idiotic things I've ever seen from companies. So, reason number one, Comcast and Charter were buying back shares of their stock when it was at its all-time high for the last 2-3 years. Shit is insane, dog. Like when I look back at the last 52 weeks, let's double it up. Let's call it the last 100 weeks. Like Comcast is trading at like half of what it was or less. Charter down, it was like a precipitous fall, like from like $600-700, it's down to like 400. They were buying shares at those prices, dog. It is insane. I'm not even joking. Those CEOs deserve to be fired on that alone. Like the crazy thing about CEOs is like they're probably thinking to themselves, what am I supposed to do with this cash? I might as well do this, reward the investor. And I get the principle, I get the idea, right? These are the people that dump their money to your company. But like these CEOs are supposed to understand what's coming. Like 1 year ahead, 2 years ahead, 5 years ahead. They didn't know fixed wireless access was coming to kick their ass. They didn't know that there was going to eventually be a time where there weren't going to be 0% rates anymore for loans and borrowing money.
Sneed. So you're preaching, and hallelujah, and I'm passing the collection plate as we speak. I agree with every word you're saying. But I'm going to be honest with you, man. I think that Big Cable got a little arrogant, and they didn't think that there would be this level of attention and activity as it pertains to fixed wireless. I don't think that they thought it was going to pop. And that's unfortunate. They miscalculated. And that's okay. You know, we're all human beings, and sometimes we miscalculate, but they're paying for it now.
No. If you make $20 million a year, it is not okay. to
Well,
make
I mean,
that
they're human.
mistake.
I mean, your take home pay doesn't take away your human. Your human blood is running in your veins. Like, they're human beings. Just because you make 20 million doesn't mean you're all of a sudden, absolved from making mistakes. The guys,
No, 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 no. What I'm saying is, to whom much is given, much is expected.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying don't hold them accountable. I'm just saying they're human beings. They made a mistake. That's fine. Hold them accountable. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But I think the miscalculation was in fixed wireless. The last time that they had an experience with fixed wireless, which is not a new concept, it didn't have the spectrum capabilities that fixed wireless has today. So it wasn't taken seriously. I mean, it's obvious the way Brian Roberts and all those guys talk about fixed wireless. Every time it comes up until now, the last few quarters, they were downplaying its ability to be able to be a viable product, and they're dead wrong.
I'm waiting for somebody to grow a pair of balls and admit they were wrong, and none of them are willing to do it. They literally won't do it.
It won't happen, and the reason why it won't happen is because it doesn't serve them at this point. What will it get them to say, okay, I was wrong?
Credibility. It'll get them credibility and authenticity, and I think it'll earn the respect of their peers and earn the respect of the general public and the investor public.
How does that translate to dollars and cents? Does that help them? Will that improve their stock price? I mean,
I tell you why it had me believing in that CEO. Now I have somebody who's obviously not as dumb as I thought they were. So when you're unwilling to admit your mistakes, that's a character flaw. Go ahead, Dennis.
Agreed.
There's a few things I'll say on the admitting wrong piece. Leading into B a little bit. There's more downside for Comcast to admit it than bright side. Like, the customers that they would be trying to acquire, they don't pay attention to that kind of stuff, and the investors that they have convinced that it's not a threat would start feeling a little bit of anxiousness. But that's not really the main focus I want to focus on. As far as the whole being wrong piece, as B touched on, like, fixed wireless isn't a new concept. I think that, because I think that Comcast sentiment is similar to my sentiment, which is that they probably had a lot of faith in their product where they would see a little bit of destabilization, but generally speaking, if it was urban or suburban markets, that it probably wouldn't have an impact. Like, in Comcast's eyes, from like a planning and strategization standpoint, they probably just assumed that fixed wireless would mainly be a thing that only impacts rural, and most of that rural are basically the unprofitable customers that Comcast wouldn't build out to anyway. Like, they thought, like, if we have it here, that we're not going to be touched because the performance characteristics of how fixed wireless works inherently won't do much. It'll just be like what DSL and satellite and other WISPs have done in history's past. I'll also just say that fixed wireless is still new on the scene and things are still shaping up. We don't know, like, in the landscape of telco, we don't really know if cable is quote unquote wrong yet about it, because I mean, Sneed, on our discussions on the show, we've kind of agreed that fixed wireless we're predicting will probably cap out around 10 mil to 15 million customers max. Kind of agreed on, right? Like, that's something that me and you kind of aligned on. So it's sort of a wait and see here approach.
Yeah, but cable said, like, they ain't gonna get many, and cable said that that they're gonna slow down, and they still haven't. Like, cables keep striking out, like when the pitcher throws a pitch and you swing and miss, strike one. Next pitch, you miss, strike two. Like, they keep being wrong, dude. It's embarrassing. Like, they should. It's a character flaw to not understand how bad you look when you don't admit you're wrong.
What I can say is that there's the public facing piece that, like, you and I see for how cable is voicing it, and there's the internal documents and things like that the sales employees and stuff like that see. What I can tell you is that based off my connects, I know that Comcast had a whole dedicated little tool made for comparing and contrasting like Comcast Internet versus T-Mobile when it was first hitting the scene. It's not that they weren't aware of it. It's just more of like I said, they probably thought either it was going to be like the traditional WISPs, or they're just willing to accept it. Like, they're just willing to be whatever. We'll continue to make our profits in these insert places. Like,
so those internal tools you're talking about, Dennis, right?
yeah,
Which is it's basically like a script to respond to whatever. But really, what I needed to know, and all I needed to know, was when Spectrum started offering a $50 home internet with a mobile line. That was it. They literally just admitted defeat. And then with the sake of Comcast, the same kind of deal, right? Aggressive promotions for wireless lines. They're giving away lines for free. They don't make a dime, right? Like it's gonna take an insane amount of additional hotspots and CBRS small cells, according to Comcast and Charter, for them to reduce Verizon data demands by like 30%. So I mean I know that's what they're going to do, and I know they're going to do it. I don't doubt it. I'm just saying they're going to put in a lot of work for a 30% return in order for them to make it make business sense.
I mean, I will say that because this is a fact, on the premium offering unlimited plans, so the more premium ones that Comcast has, I can't speak for Charter, but on the premium offering unlimited plans that Comcast offers, they're making very healthy profit margins that are well within line of like industry.
Plan, Dennis?
Whatever they're calling it, their unlimited plus or whatever. The one that's not just the 22 gigs before being hard throttle. It's like it has like priority data. I think it's like 50 gigs of like priority data. It's like a next tier up.
That's another thing I wish cable and telco, just all the carriers, I wish they would tell us. Like they always say like, oh, we love the way the uptake on these premium plans. They never give us numbers, man. We never know.
But I'm telling you as a fact, because again, I got I got the plugs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their premium unlimited offerings, they're making very healthy profit margins on. Unlimited premium is what it's called, by the way, and unlimited plus. Those two plans, they're making very healthy profit margins on. Like that are well within line, like wireless industry norm. Like if they're getting customers unlimited plus and unlimited premium, very healthy standalone profit margins on its own. And also legacy customers that haven't transitioned to unlimited, so the ones that were on the old pay by the gig model, also healthy profit margins. The only one that's like margins are tight, or it's a question of how much usage is happening, whether or not they make profit or lose money, is the unlimited intro. And it's only when you start talking about the multi-line price on those lines. So other than that, unlimited plus and unlimited premium, nobody's coming close to the breakage needed as far as utilization goes to make it not profitable for Comcast. It's very profitable.
All right. Well, that kind of lets us, I guess, get into this next angle. Cable Co Wireless overturns assumptions about MVNO profitability. All right, so Comcast Charter, they've been selling mobile service for a few years now. I think collectively, man, they're starting to. Did they hit 10 million yet between the two of them? They're getting pretty close if they haven't hit it yet. I myself was wrong. I didn't think cable was gonna put a dent in the game. They absolutely have. They continue to be the share takers. You know, you're talking about 600,000-700,000 from Charter Spectrum, 200,000-300,000 from Comcast Xfinity every quarter. It's like clockwork. With respect to pricing, all right, Verizon is the provider. They're the MNO. And, you know, you look at the price per gigabyte of usage and the price, you know, for those users on the network. We don't have exact numbers. We don't know the specifics. Do you guys think, like, with respect to the cost piece, do you think the reason why Charter and Comcast are looking at offloading the Verizon data because Verizon has plans or has structured something for price hikes for the cost per gig on these guys?
About offloading traffic, you're saying?
Okay, so the cable companies need to offload traffic in order for it to make business sense, right?
Yes.
Now they're really starting to feel the pinch. It's clearly apparent that it's starting to bother them, right? So they're gonna build this small cell network. They're gonna do more of the hotspot stuff, and do you think it's because Verizon's going to be changing the price structure? Or I shouldn't say changing. We don't have access to any type of documentation on the deal. So we don't know what they're paying per exactly. And we don't know what Verizon can do with pricing in the future. So what I'm speculating, I guess, or kind of presenting here is there may be a version of this where the price per gig isn't going to be the same today as it is 2 or 3 years from now. You get what I'm saying? That's kind of how I'm looking at this. That could be the thing. So what do you think? I mean, you got these cable codes now they really, really want to build. Is that pressure from Verizon due to some potential price action?
I think price action definitely plays a role in it. I know that again, I can't speak for Charter, but in the case of Comcast, I know when they originally were doing things, their original wholesale rate with Verizon was really bad. It was like $5 per gigabyte used. Like they were just straight up accepting like a loss of money on it. Like back on the OG like first, second, and like first and second gen plans that they had. I don't know what their revitalized recent things happen. Like I know they made a backroom deal sometime like last year when they unveiled these new plans to get new rates. So I don't know what that structure looks like. But my guess here, and the reason why there's extra urgency is because they're probably seeing wireless data usage and continue to increase, especially after pandemic. So even with whatever the updated rates are, the uptick in usage with the onsets of like 5G and other aspects that are driving higher mobile usage.
Dennis, do you think they thought about that a few years ago?
What, the increased mobile data usage?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I think they thought about it, but they probably were looking at it the historical lens of like, okay, year over year usage increases by X percentage.
Okay, so do
Not
you see why I have some disdain for cable's leadership? Like I don't think they are really doing things the right way. You know, like this is one of those things. Like were they really well thought? Do you think they considered all things?
I don't. I don't think that they didn't think about it. I just think the timetable got changed from what they were expecting. By that I mean, like I said, the pandemic really changed how usage typically works, right? Like we saw a massive spike in residential home usage over enterprise, which stressed endpoints and nodes. Like that was unprecedented types of levels of usage during these like peak traffic times that were historically well mapped out. You know, we saw the surge and other use cases for mobile that weren't just like sending pictures and stuff like that, you know, or watching like a little 720p video clip or whatever. Like we saw some massive changes in how things are utilized and how consumer behavior changed. As well as we also, between now and then, we saw Comcast really lean into the whole selling to business and enterprise lines now, which are completely new products that they weren't originally doing, because Xfinity Mobile originally was for residential consumer accounts only.
True.
So
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of factors that have changed and pushed the timetable up to really emphasize and focus on the deployment of these small cells, including also other factors such as like license obligations for the spectrum holdings that they have and having to get them on air within the markets to keep them, sort of deal. So I think there's a variety of factors that are pushing this uptick forward. It's not necessarily about being wrong or not even like not having on the brain. It's just there was a lot of variable factors that were kind of unprecedented compared to other historical norms.
They missed their opportunity. They could have been building those small cells so easily during the pandemic. They were just busy buying back shares. B, jump in, man. B? Oh, maybe we lost B. Okay. Well, yep, we lost him. All right, let's do this. Dennis, I know you're gonna dig this one. Dish. I believe they reported this week. If I remember correctly, it was like Monday or Tuesday. Dennis, it was really bad, man. Really, really bad. Basically across the entire business, which would be pay TV, streaming TV, Boost Mobile and their wireless operations, it's just a whole bunch of losses, man. Revenues sinking, margins sinking. It's a lot of that stuff.
So Sneed, I heard you ask
Can
me a
anybody
question.
hear
I
B?
apologize.
B's talking very softly, and there's a minor echo. B, your mic's kind of messed up.
All right, can you guys hear me a little better now?
No, it's very soft, and I can hear myself when I talk when you're open.
It's this Android Echo bug.
Give me a few minutes, guys. I'll try to see if I can troubleshoot.
Okay.
The next step, I guess, according to Craig Moffett from Moffett Nathanson, he's saying bankruptcy is not far off. And I went through the numbers. You know, they started spinning off assets in the islands. I think Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands. They have spectrum licenses. They have cell towers. They're letting it all go. They sold it all to Liberty, I believe. So they're basically consolidating their business every which way. They merged with EchoStar. That should help them in terms of like leveraging to raise cash and capital. It's really bad, Dennis. It's really, really bad. And the one person who's in control of this whole thing, I don't trust to get them out of it. You know, the CEO left or got fired, or I don't even know. Ericsson, I forget his name. Eric Carlson, I think is his name. We've had a revolving door at Dish and their wireless business. It's just so damn depressing, dude. You know, I've been an optimist. I've been positive about it. It's just they've had their back up against it. Everything's going wrong. Ransomware, you know, doing their customers dirty, doing their dealers dirty. Shout out to my brother Dan Tana, just popped in the live chat. Salute to you. Yeah, man, it's God, man. I mean, you could check out those numbers yourself, Dennis, but it was all bad, man. What's your take on all this?
Well, you said I'm gonna love it. I mean, I'm not necessarily in love with killing the supposed fourth potential MNO network, but I will say, I mean, I called it day one. I mean, back then I was down on Dish for my reasons based off the historical precedents in their TV space and how they did things. And while I got a little bit more optimistic for them and excited when I finally got to try out, you know, Project Genesis and some of the cool things they were doing with the Amazon deal that I thought was good, once I saw how they actually executed and how it played out, I mean, I called it. I don't know if bankruptcy is necessarily right around the corner per se. I think that they have enough money to flounder for a while, but specifically, since you're talking about the numbers, the number that shook me the most was the fact that their Boost brand is doing so badly that Charter is looking to be the bigger than them in subscribers.
Yeah, that's happening. Yeah.
So,
hey, Dennis, do you know when I knew it was over for them? There were two signals. Do you remember what happened?
Oh, was one of them the EchoStar? Was it? No.
It was when John Stankey publicly stated he would be interested in buying their assets. I knew they were dead. It was literally at that moment in time I knew they were dead. And then I had a flashback to about 2 months before that. And you know who else said something about Dish?
T-Mobile.
And you know what Mike Sievert said?
Be interested in buying those assets?
No. Mike Sievert will never compliment someone when he means it. It's always underhanded, sneaky, backhanded, passive aggressive. And you know what he said? He said, "Oh, I never count out Charlie and Dish." Bullshit. He's a liar. That is a liar sandwich. Nobody lies like Deceiver. That is when I knew Dish was dead. When the competition was complimenting him, it was over. I knew it was over. That's lip service. That's lies. That's smoke and mirrors because they know he's a dead duck.
So
tell me I'm wrong, bro. Tell me I'm wrong.
I'm not, but I am going to tell you something that I will say. While Dish is knocking literally on death's door, 1 foot in the grave. There is one way, a painful way, that they could save themselves. However, if they do this method, they will forever forego being a national provider. The thing that Dish would have to do if they actually want to save themselves is they would have to liquidate all of the Dish satellite business and just try to get cash for it, as much cash as they can, fire sale pricing, and then they would have to just focus on like 10 PAs max to make it their good competitive spot.
So Sprint.
Essentially. That's the only way that they can quote unquote save themselves and sustain. But like I said, they're going to forego being a national provider forever after that point. They will basically be a MVNO on steroids, and that's all they'll ever be.
You know, nobody has tried to consolidate the market at this rapid pace. I've never seen anything like it before. T-Mobile is literally, since the merger started, they have tried to consolidate the market. They don't want to support MVNO. They don't want MVNO to exist unless you're like a bit player. Like they want to support like TDS or something. If unless you publicly supported the merger, they don't want to do business with you. They shut out Black Wireless. They completely changed everything, all the structures with MVNOs. It's craziness, dog. I mean this could literally turn into a T-Mobile bashing piece, but they strategically picked Dish because they knew they could shit on them, you know?
I mean, yes, I remember some of the bad things they did, like with the Metro text that they sent out to get people on Metro and the special deals. Like, yeah, they were targeting Dish. But I'm just going to say it right now. While Dish didn't have T-Mobile do them any favors and they had a lot of cards get stocked against them, at the end of the day, it's still on Dish. They took every wrong turn that could be taken from an executive leadership standpoint and squandered it. Like they just took every wrong turn. Like,
oh yeah, they had a lot of missteps, man.
And it's not like they didn't get help either, right? Like AT&T and that relationship should have been the thing that really kicked them forward, right? Because now they got easy access to every cell site that AT&T has access to. The roaming marriage between the two is one that is very like robust and stabilized. But they had everything against them, right? And what they really needed was a combination of money and engineers. Like, I know they had the obligations of the FCC to deploy and cover a certain amount of POPs, but this focus on the POP coverage just to do the bare minimum to meet that isn't going to be the thing that acquires them customers. And then they also just absolutely somehow managed to make the Boost brand even worse and more confusing. I mean, they've changed the Boost prepaid logo 3 times, like within the last year.
And is that the problem, Dennis? Is the problem the logo?
Not the logo, but the messaging around the brand. I'm saying,
but you get what I'm saying? Like they're sitting there worried about that, but that's not the problem. We know what the problem is. It ain't that.
Yeah, it's one, consumers aren't even sure how to get the product they want. 2, they don't even know what the product is anymore. Like, what's the value proposition for consumers? And then 3, scams, literally scams.
Yeah,
literally scamming their own customers.
By the way, shout out to all the people that said that I was making shit up and none of that shit was true. Shout out to them. What up, Moose?
Oh damn! Sorry about that. I got a call, but so we're talking about Dish finally, right?
Yeah, man.
Alrighty. I'm about to go off.
Oh damn.
Because these people are the worst situation. Dish has less than 12 months left of cash. Easily. That 200 and whatever deal that they did with Liberty bought them maybe one payment to both T-Mobile and AT&T for their roaming. Maybe. I don't even want to give them that. I have no remorse about what I'm about to say because Charlie Ergen should have pushed for a significant amount of money from the U.S. government if that is how in bed they are with the government. If they truly want a fourth carrier, they're going to need a bailout. I'm calling it how it is right now.
And where's that going to happen? Where's it coming from? Who's it coming from?
Government.
The government's purse is tight right now. They're not trying to give. They don't care about this. The focus on 5G and all that stuff. That horse is already ridden off.
Okay,
that's 2020, bro.
So then listen to this. Okay, this is what exactly is going to happen. Then Dish is going to be sold for parts, and they're going to be sold for the highest bidder for the parts because the creditors are going to be coming, and they're going to be coming in quick. Okay, and by the way, this situation is not exclusive to Dish. You know, what's it called? Paramount Plus, aka Paramount Global, right, is in the same boat. They have screwed the situation up because the streaming services, okay? But that's another topic. It's another topic. I don't want to get into that one right now. But don't think that Dish is alone in the fact that they might be bankrupt very soon.
I don't think they're alone. I mean, the interest rates are making a lot of zombie companies go extinct because they weren't meant for the market. But, I mean, like I said, I think there's like one door that they can pull. Hoping for this Hail Mary miracles of the government giving them money, I don't think is likely. I think there's like one lever they can pull to basically end up like a Sprint. But yeah, I mean, selling for parts might happen. It's just even then that's complicated and sticky, right? Like we've talked about.
All of it requires regulation, Dennis.
Yeah, regulation, but we also talked about like what would happen if a US Mobile got sold off, right? And it got complicated. The person's going to want to buy everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So like that gets complicated. I mean, Dish is in a very bad situation. They have to take extreme measures, like very extreme measures to recenter themselves to survive. It can be done. Do I think the current leadership is willing to make those decisions though? No.
Oh man, let me get Max Tech Studios up in here.
Yeah, well, it's
What up,
actually
buddy?
not very for Dish right now.
No, it's a no.
Yeah, hard no. I think they have a lot going for them. I mean, think about it. They've got one of the biggest prepaid retail wireless brands. They've got, they're declining, but they still have a lot going for them. They got this lock-in deal with Amazon. Amazon, of all companies. They have so much. They just are making stupid decisions, and they're not leveraging what they have going for them because they're still leaning too far into their old business of selling shitty overpriced satellite TV. Because that's such a lucrative business in 2023.
I think the issue is that there's just no upside.
Well,
like all they keep talking about is a merger with DirecTV. That's it.
yeah,
That is essentially Sling and Dish TV.
Yeah.
It all circles back to some kind of freaking make-believe merger that he wants with DirecTV.
If they're trying to be a wireless company, they should be a wireless company and just stop messing around with satellite TV like it's the hot new thing anymore. It's
Bro,
just
their ARPU is $35. It's $35.
It's $35. I mean, come on. Wireless is a big business, and more than ever now, with more consumer awareness, in my opinion, of more affordable prepaid options, why not leverage that? Why not reach out to these specific people through the marketing to get them going? I understand they don't have much money to market, but they're clearly putting money into marketing their satellite TV. Every, like, 2 YouTube videos I watch, I see an ad for Dish advertising the price will be locked in for 2 years, after which it'll go up after.
Bro, you know what's crazy? They don't move desperate. Like, they don't act like they're like the seat's on fire. Like, they don't even have a consumer premise equipment to sell fixed wireless access. If I've got a customer who has Boost Infinite or even Boost Mobile, and their address is within 2 miles of one of my native Dish sites, I am moving heaven and earth to get them on a fixed wireless service so I can make an additional $40 or $50.
Yeah,
I'm going to
raise
do
that ARPU.
whatever it takes. I'm going to send flyers. I'm going to make calls. Hey, we offer a fixed wireless access product. It's plug and play. We send you the gateway, no charge, no rental fee. Try us out for free for a month. You like it, keep it. You know, the first year your price could be $35 a month and then go from there. Like, why can't they, like, dude, they can copy for now, right? Find ways to
Easy.
innovate as you build your business model. But sheesh, you need to, like, bro, you gotta treat customer potential as like surface area. You need more surface area. You need more exposure. Your brand needs to be out there. Every opportunity, sell something. Just sell.
And Sneed, the sad part is that fixed wireless play that you just mentioned would make the most logical sense for Dish, because they could target their existing Dish customers who right now are getting internet from companies like HughesNet.
Dennis,
And
they got
DSL.
7 million customers across the nation. How can't they do fixed wireless on some of these sites where they're getting like 250, 500 megabits per second?
I know, but what I'm saying is right now with their existing TV business, they've consistently foregone like money to other ISPs because that wasn't like a product or a solution that they could offer. They have the wireless, they can offer the fixed wireless, like you're saying. It'd be such an easy pairing for them, synergistically speaking, and it gets them in the ecosystem. Now you got them on the internet, now you got them on the TV, now there's the potential to sell them on the mobile. It literally take a page out of Comcast book, please, Dish, and you would be doing some wondrous things. But to Max's point, though, asking Charlie to focus on wireless is like asking a duck not to quack. Like the Charlie is the duck in this scenario. He's always been in the TV space. He sat on Spectrum for God knows what reason. He has no clue what he's doing in the wireless space. And honestly, Charlie will be the downfall of this company.
Yeah. I'm 100% agreeing with both of you. I think Charlie needs to get his head out of his ass, realize that there's more people out there that want wireless than overpriced satellite TV, and then market fixed wireless plus a unlimited Boost Infinite line with a free iPhone every year. Boom, both of them together, $80. Done.
Bruh, Dennis is right. It literally comes down to Charlie. He hires people to micromanage them and make their decisions for them. The shit doesn't even make any sense. Like, the revolving door of executives is insanity. I have never seen anything like this before. And to kind of cap it all off, right? I look at what he did in order to become the majority shareholder, he bought like 50 million shares of Dish, like right when they became a carrier. When the stock was $40.
How is he not like?
What the hell?
How are alarms not going off for him that their stock price is a tenth of what he bought it for?
I'm going to
How
tell you
are the
why. I'm going to tell you why. When he became majority shareholder, that made him majority shareholder of all the business segments, which he just merged EchoStar, right? So now it's one business. He is the majority shareholder. What happens when they sell? It's all his. Who's going to stop him from selling? Nobody. He is the majority shareholder. Nobody can tell him anything. He is literally causing the business to fail, and he is perfectly fine with it. And he doesn't care about the casualties that come with it. Charlie does not care. He would rather litigate than innovate. He offers lip service about differentiating the network. He offers lip service about enterprise and 5G use cases. Bro, he has people on Twitter like completely duped. There are people literally talking about how this unique business model and this ORAN and all this. Bro, these people are sucking the sack, bro. Like, I'm not, it's great. Like, wolf tickets of the highest order. It's crazy. And like I said, when Eugene complimented him and when Stanky publicly stated they were going to buy them if it became available, it was over. It was over. Done.
I just don't see how he's just. It's like that one. It's like that one GIF. It's just sitting in the fire. This is fine. What? How do you just how do you just sit there? How do you not do anything?
Would you hire a CEO, a CTO, a CFO, and then still write checks for under $20,000?
No.
No.
Do you see the level of insanity here?
Well, they got no money.
He
Well, let me
literally
rephrase. Let me
he literally
rephrase.
runs the business like it's closing tomorrow.
I was gonna say, let me rephrase. I wouldn't do that unless there was literally no money in the checking account.
Well, there is no money in the checking account.
Bro, he runs the business like it's closing tomorrow. Like, don't spend a dime.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we can't do it. Like, bro, his company was completely compromised by ransomware, and his response was lie to the customers so they don't leave, only for them to leave as soon as they could pour it out. Like he
Or they just got new
Oh,
numbers
shit.
and forgot their losses. So
bro, this
I mean,
shit is insane. Like,
and
bruh.
these poor boost dealers just have to put up with it. They
no,
don't have any power.
not the poor boost dealers either. They're just they're part of the reason why it's also so bad. There's
Well,
such an
so-
inconsistency between the dealers. It's not even funny.
Well, there's partial truth to that because on one hand, some of the stores just look like dispensaries, but I mean, on the other hand,
yo,
Yeah.
look, I ain't gonna lie, man. There are some times where I read a Dish story and I just laugh.
right? Well, it's
I
sad.
just laugh because they had a chance to compete, but they had to do it from the beginning.
Yeah.
They had to compete from the beginning. When Boost had almost 9 million customers, right? They had what like once I saw the churn rate was elevated and it was quarter after quarter after quarter, they're not trying. This is why Verizon gets me aggravated when I see like the consumer side not turning around fast enough. It makes it look like you're not trying. Like I'm telling you guys, sometimes I read the Dish stories and then I look at Charlie and I just laugh. I'm like, he literally wasted someone's time. He hired them
Yeah.
only to like for them to leave. Or I
Yeah.
swear, bro, literally, if you and I said it in my last video, you guys can go back and rewind it. If you work at Dish, how the hell do you wake up in the morning going to work thinking, how long am I going to be working here?
Oh, Sneed, I saw
I'm gonna
on
tell you.
Dish's LinkedIn page, they have like they're bragging about being one of the top 10 or whatever best companies to work at in Colorado. I just laughed for like 5 minutes after I saw
How about
that.
this? He just had 1,000 folks just move there to relocation and work there, and he just laid them off.
We're laid off a ton of people. And Sneed, I actually
He
have
just moved them there, Max.
you just laid off a bunch of people right around the holiday season. And I have a pie chart of the specific areas that were affected by the layoffs.
Well, Sneed, I'll tell you, for your question about waking up, I'm going to tell you right now, most people aren't thinking about that in the back of their head. Just straight up. Like,
Dennis,
when you're
I worked at a school
yeah,
where there was a news story about the ownership group that used to run this charter school. It was my first job out of college.
yeah.
Right, humble beginnings. They were embezzling money, dude. There was a story in the newspaper about it. And I woke up and I saw this story, and then I go to work and I go up to my boss and I'm just like, is this real? He's like, yeah, those are real allegations. Dude, I just walked out of the office. I'm like, this is what I work for? We were supposed to be helping kids. We're supposed to be building this culture, and it's all out the window. There was a huge embezzling scam. You know, like how do I dude, if it wasn't already May in the school year, I would have walked out.
Yeah, but I'm saying that Sneed, most people, like when they have a job, right? They're not thinking about, boy, I'm gonna lose it tomorrow, right? Like it just isn't the thought. Like when you're in the thick of it in that company, right? A lot of people end up drinking the just naturally end up drinking the company Kool-Aid, right? Whatever it is. You just focus on that. You focus on your job, especially if it's a good paying job and there's not like a good alternative. Or if you're someone that has hard skills, high value, right? You're not really worried, right? You'll keep taking the paychecks until the day comes when you are laid off. Then you'll take your unemployment to look for another job, and you'll do that route. Like, maybe this is a little bit of a messed up thing to say, but I'll just say that as I get older and older, right? I'm about to have a master's under my belt. I got my resume is nice and clean. Sometimes there's 2 jobs I'm working simultaneously on that thing. I'm not super worried when it comes to finding the next job. Like, I know that there will be a job available to pay the bills, right? Whether it be because of awesome people that I've met that have connections, or from previous, work employees that I've made who got into better positions that could hire. Like, if I wanted to wake up tomorrow, Sneed, and I know not everybody's in my position to find everyone could find a job, but to find a job that's comparable in pay is not something everybody's in. But if I was working at Dish and I lost my job tomorrow at Dish, I could wake up tomorrow and call someone that works at Amazon and be doing AWS enterprise sales. Like, I feel like there's a good enough portion of the skilled labor that Dish has as far as tiny team goes that they could easily find other jobs, right? Like a customer service rep, you can find customer service rep positions everywhere. They're always hiring. It's a revolving door. The amount of people that make it past their first year in customer service at a company is only like something like 10%. So there's constant revolving door when it comes to that kind of role. And then for the more skilled leadership roles like engineers and stuff like that, every company is constantly looking for engineers, especially if you have knowledge in the AI space or have the means to adjust yourself to be marketable to that space. So I don't know. I'm just saying, at least most people I talk about, they don't wake up tomorrow dreading it because it's a bad thought. And most people, if they're thinking logically, know that there will be something else that comes up that they can get. I know times are a little tight right now with the economy, but generally speaking, in the US, the job market's usually not so bad that you can't find another job if you're looking for one. If you're willing to take it, I should say.
I'm about to be really honest and say something. Some people might be, I don't know, confused. I'm just gonna say it though. When Sneed was talking about that one school that was embezzling money, I just thought to myself, if it came out that Charlie Ergen was just embezzling money and pretending that the company just had no money, I would not be surprised at all. I would
No,
not
but
be
he's been
phased.
hit before. Remember the whole
Well,
FCC thing with the discount he got running the,
yeah.
when he did the bidding as like a small regional provider, and it turned out to be him, so he could get some kind
Yeah.
of a rural discount or some shit.
Yeah. I mean, he's
Bro,
trying
they
to
ended up
look
taking
perfect
the
in the book.
spectrum from him. It was
I mean,
like
yeah.
$3 billion in spectrum.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty nefarious.
Bro, it was chicanerous and nefarious.
I just would not put anything past Charlie at this point. I just can't imagine how you would sit there, fires all around, saying this is fine. Money is coming out the gutter. Money is just pouring out everywhere. Money is leaving you faster than your dad. And then you're just like, okay, well, oh, we're gonna keep advertising our satellite TV with a 2-year price guarantee. It's gonna go up after the 2 years because we gotta raise our ARPU by then.
Man, let me say hello to Vince, who just joined the panel. What's up, Vince?
Hello. I'm setting up
going, man?
AT&T Internet Air right now, and we'll see how that goes.
Nice. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Let me bring Zero Cool in here. He knows all about Dish and Charlie's escapades.
Freaking dumpster fire, man. Like I don't know who I don't know who's worse. Like Dish is a company.
Bruh, I got an
or just
idea, Zero
or just
Cool. Tell me what
Charlie.
you think. Zero Cool, tell me what you think. We get Charlie Ergen, the official Dish wireless car. It's the shape of a dumpster, and it's got like flames coming out the back. What do you think, bro?
Yeah. I think that's
Oh,
a
and
good
don't forget the
idea.
money. Don't forget the money and
Right.
the flames.
I think this guy has a better chance at working for Visible. You know, that's how bad this
Right
is.
on.
Like, no, he should be an employee of Visible. Like this guy is like, this guy deserves. Oh, gosh, I mean, like, What are they? They're like they are worse than Sprint. Like these people, like these guys are horrible company.
Sprint was a
I don't know if they'll
legitimate
survive.
business. They stopped investing in the network on a national scale,
Exactly. Yeah.
right? But they were still a legitimate business.
They didn't pull straight up nefarious stuff like pretending to be a regional company to get cheaper spectrum and then just nope, they got caught in that.
So I don't think they did that, but they did play a lot of people on the leases on the phones.
Right.
Well, I wasn't talking about Sprint. I was talking about how Dish was doing that.
Oh yeah.
Sprint. I would not put a lot of things. I mean, I would put a lot of things past Sprint. I would not put a lot of things past Sprint. But they were doing poorly, but they were at least doing something. Dish isn't doing anything. Dish is just sitting there and just letting the money leave itself.
Bro, the engineers built a credible network. The retail folks are trying to sell.
They're trying.
The policies are trash. The leadership is trash. They all just pass the buck. No accountability, no responsibility. And the leadership, the executives, they just keep leaving. They literally realize they're like, what the hell did I sign up for? This is not what I thought I was getting myself into.
Yeah. Bad.
Yeah.
Actually, you guys want to know what else is bad? This story about Verizon. Oh, Verizon, the reliable network, root metrics, legendary. Oh my God.
Okay, careful, you'll offend B.
I know. Verizon had a no service and SOS only outage today. All right. So according to this story, the TLDR, according to, The Verge or whatever. What is this? Hold on. Android Authority. Verizon had a service outage across the USA today affecting data, voice, and texting. Users reportedly got no signal on their phones. Verizon did not acknowledge the outage and has not provided any reasoning or solutions. So, I didn't witness anything like this. I didn't see it, but there was a very large spike on the down detector. Verizon as the MNO and then Verizon MVNOs all impacted during this time. It looks like it ran from maybe about 4:30, 5 o'clock through the rest of like the early evening. Majority of the reports, East Coast, New York City, many from Dallas and Houston, West Coast, San Francisco, Los Angeles affected. Those are big markets. And that's what the heat map looked like. So I see some action in the middle of the country, Southwest. I see Atlanta's on there, Tampa, New York City. I didn't see anything here in the CLE. I didn't even know that this happened until shout out to Baby Yoda who shared this with me. So the legendary Goat Network dropped some goat dookie all over the place with this outage.
Yeah, they're gonna get fined.
Better matters.
Why would they get fined for an outage?
Because so anytime you have an outage and you can't dial 911, if for example, if this wouldn't even roll over to when they dial 911, well, two things. Like they'll get fined if they have an outage. That's just that's what the FCC does. And if for some reason if your phone is not able to make a 911 call, like if it doesn't roll over to like AT&T or whatever to make that call, they'll get you get fined. To actually, they're pretty fun. They're pretty steep actually. They're pretty hefty, especially if so what happens is if you dial 911, the time that you dial 911, those calls are logged internally, and they have to, the FCC has to have reports of that. And for each minute, they're not able to dial 911 on that call, then it's a huge fine.
To answer some of the questions in the live chat, it looks like it was in some places very short-lived. Lots of different markets, large, small, people were reporting it. It doesn't seem like it was like across entire states. It doesn't seem like it was across entire markets. It was specific locales. I'm not sure what it was. Six Flags And St. Louis Enthusiast said he saw it briefly. Donald says he saw it as well. Oh no, Illinois not affected. Okay, so I don't know. It looks like it was just kind of like randomly. The Verizon outage affected mine and my wife's visible lines with no service for a few hours. Okay, so there is some. It's weird. Yep. So trash or
people,
trash.
Yeah. Plus, people they tend to sometimes you have customers will leave the carrier altogether when you have no service like that. So it's a lot of money being lost.
Yeah, I didn't experience any other problems in the CLE market today.
I didn't see anything, but I don't know. Unless maybe it happened at night when I was snoozing. I don't know. Yep. So that's the goat for you guys. That's the goat.
Remember those balls ads they would do where they had like I forgot what it's exactly like, but it's basically like Verizon won this many awards and AT&T won this. Like, and then like T-Mobile and Sprint made like ads with like the same format, and it's just like cherry picked data that's pretty much made up. Like they could basically just make it up and no one would bat an eye. But I just remember it was like so weird that all these companies were making these same ads, and it's just like it's all cherry picked data. That doesn't mean shit.
I'm just gonna say something that I think you guys will find it especially interesting though. As far as this outage goes, you know how you're talking about Verizon didn't share anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
For my internal plugs, I was also informed by them that Verizon didn't even share it with their MVNOs, like internally.
So they were like in the dark, and then they were getting calls, from their customers.
Yeah. So, I don't know what it looked like on the Verizon normal retail side, but I'm wondering if they were even aware of there being a problem, like initially, until customers started like calling in about it.
Is my imagination, or is Verizon getting less reliable when it comes to stuff like this?
No, it's not your imagination, as Tech Guy spoke about. Second outage. I mean, look,
more so than it used to happen. Like if I compared like 2015 to 2020, or no, let's keep it equal. 2015 to 2019, right? 4-year window. We can count the outages, and then go like 2020 to 2023, and it's like night and day.
Look, the most reliable carrier, if we're basing it off of outages, within the last like 4 years has been AT&T.
It's probably true.
It goes AT&T, then Verizon, then T-Mobile. T-Mobile's had the most frequent outages and also largest impacting outages due to their reliance on like one fiber provider for their cuts and stuff. But AT&T, I mean, the last time AT&T had a major, I'm talking major outage, like one that like really sucked because I lived through it when I was going to Penn State Beaver, was back in 2017. And that was like a major one. And then the only other one that was pretty massive that AT&T had, although this one I would just say is just not in AT&T's control, is when that one POS decided to drive into the central office somewhere in the Midwest. I don't remember the exact location.
It was like in Tennessee, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think it was
oh yeah, I remember that.
Nashville.
That was back in like 2019. Yeah. And honestly, when it came to that one specifically, I give AT&T a small, I'm not a big pass, but a small pass, because like, what the hell? How do you predict someone basically doing that?
Oh, that's funny.
In the Midwest at all.
But yeah, no. But hey, Sneed, you got Verizon. You said you weren't impacted, and
no.
Where everyone on this panel has multiple lines, so even when stuff does happen like this, we're pretty Gucci. I mean, it still sucks, right? Because if that's your main calling line and you use that for work, you're still in a pretty rough spot. But at least when it comes to us, we're pretty immunized to any one carrier when it comes to outages because we got multiple.
It's surprising. Like if you can get on Dish Native when a network is jacked up, like let's say your primary is AT&T and they're out. Let's say Verizon is your primary and they're out. and you can connect to Dish Native, that's usually the one that's working, man.
Yeah.
It's a great network, and they've got just horrible negligence for the entirety of the company.
I'm sorry, but I hard disagree with the statement that they have a great network.
Okay. Well, then maybe come to Appleton. I'll show you what's up.
If I have to drive to one specific cell site to have a great experience, your network isn't great.
You don't have to. Nah.
Yo, Dennis, straight up, the CLE is pretty solid too, man. I can't.
You know who has
this is the worst company that has the best network.
You want to know who has a great network? I'm not even joking.
Ooh.
T-Mobile.
Well, T-Mobile's the 5G GOAT. We know that.
So it's the GOAT it's the GOAT at until it isn't, until you lose your N41 range.
Until it gets hacked.
Until the data gets breached and until you lose your range of N41, then I'd take Dish over that.
Nah, dude. If you were in Pittsburgh, you would take T-Mobile 10 out of 10 times, and that's not even a joke.
Okay.
Because if you have Dish, no, I'm being serious. I'm being so serious. If you have Dish in Pittsburgh, good luck being able to make a phone call because your phone is going to be constantly flipping between Dish Native and AT&T. Good luck actually receiving that phone call. You can make the outbound phone call after the fact, but good luck receiving it. And then as far as data goes, good luck for that working too, because Dish and their stupidity, if you're connected to AT&T and it's supposedly a quote-unquote Dish native area, won't let the data work unless you have an ongoing phone call. They do some stupid restrictions. Instead of the phone being able just to connect to whatever and working, Dish says, nah, if you're in an area where there's even a sliver of Dish bar service, your data is not working.
All right, listen, man. We're going to play a game. Everybody is going to get asked the same question. All the mobile providers. All of them. Okay. Have you guys ever heard of start, bench, or cut?
No. But
okay, when you start,
kill, love, and something. I'm assuming it's the same premise as kill, screw, and marry. I'm assuming.
I don't know, but so start is like they're your shining star. Bench means they're mid, right? And then cut means like they don't have a place on this roster, right? Like they're not good. Or of the three, they're the worst. Okay, so start, bench, cut. All right, let's do it for all the carriers. All right. Let me start with Max Tech Studios because this one will be interesting. Max, you have used all of them, including Dish, right? Start, bench, cut. Yes, US Cellular counts too. Start, bench, cut.
Why'd you put me on the spot first?
Because you've been look, US Cellular, Dish, AT&T, Verizon, NT Mobile. You've used them all.
Okay.
Start, bench, cut.
Okay.
Start's your best. Bench is your mid, and then cut is the one that's like they're the odd man out.
Bench, I'm gonna go with T-Mobile. I think start, I'm probably gonna do a tie between AT&T and Dish, and then cut. Cut, I'm gonna have to go with US Cellular. No. We're going Verizon on the cut, actually.
Oh, snap. You cut Verizon. Damn. The legendary. Damn. All right, Zero Cool. Start, bench, cut.
All right. We got Verizon and AT&T. We're going to bench T-Mobile and cut Dish and then throw US Cellular to the wolves.
Oh, man. All right, let me get Vince in here. Start, bench, cut, Vince.
I'd have to say start Verizon, AT&T bench, and then cut T-Mobile.
You guys know that Vince is from the CLE, right? Vince is a hometown homie, so he knows what's up. All right, Moose. Start, bench, cut.
Man, I don't even want to fucking entertain T-Mobile or Dish.
Moose, play along. Come on, bro.
I'm only gonna say this. I'd rather have a damn international carrier than T-Mobile. Like this is so ridiculous at this point, man. Where's the network security? How can I guarantee anything?
Okay, so who you starting, Moose?
I'm starting with the most reliable carrier. Okay.
So who's that?
If depending on where I live, really, honestly.
Moose, would you
Like-
make your damn pick? Who you starting?
I can't say who my pick is, man.
All right,
I'm just gonna
why?
say
we're cutting Moose.
It's
Got it.
probably Rogers
Exactly.
Wireless.
I'm not gonna be biased. That's because everybody calls me biased, so I'm not gonna.
What do you mean, Moose? Everybody gets I mean, this is your experience. Who is your start? Who is your bench? And who is your cut?
No, I'm not gonna be biased because the shills, the thongs, they're always upset.
Okay, I know
because-
what Moose wants to say. He wants to say start AT&T. I'll say it for you, Moose. Now go ahead.
Okay, who you benching then, Moose?
Oh man, I'm benching. You got to bench Dish. You got to bench Dish.
And who you cutting?
I'm cutting T-Mobile.
Oh shit!
I'm cutting T-Mobile. There's no reason for me to even consider them, man.
Wait, where's Verizon in this mix then? Wouldn't Verizon be your bench?
It depends on where I live. That's why I was saying, like, if in certain areas, like for example in Dallas, I would not be comfortable with Verizon. I've tried it. I'm not comfortable.
Okay.
But if I was in Southern California, of course, Verizon. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. Geography counts.
Okay. Am I up now?
Yeah, go ahead, Dennis.
All right, mine's easy. Start AT&T, bench T-Mobile though, cut Verizon.
Damn.
Wow.
So that's pretty much what I said, except I had Dish in the start with AT&T as well.
Listen, Max is from Pennsylvania. He understands and appreciates the fact that
I'm not from Pennsylvania.
Oh, I'm sorry. Listen, I was thinking of PA Tech. Sorry, Max. But Verizon's also pretty rough out where Max is at if he's down by Longmont. At least when I was out there. AT&T was bad out there too, though. But yeah, no. I mean, look, I want to be clear here. All three carriers in Pittsburgh are usable. Just want to throw that out there, just for clarity's sake. But AT&T, bar none, is like wireless heaven as long as you're staying in here. And since I don't really go outside the state, the farthest I go away from the city is about an hour or about 36 miles. Like AT&T's go here. And then T-Mobile, despite my complaints of them historically in the past, I don't know what they've been doing in my market, but Sneed, I sent you a text message. My uplink has gotten so much better with them.
Mhm.
Like I FaceTime Carlos and my Wi-Fi was disconnected because of the iOS bug, and the FaceTime call stayed. Now it was just straight audio, it wasn't video, but at least it maintained the FaceTime call. The pings have been better. Everything's been kind of Gucci. Verizon, you know, they have a network, but they legitimately have spots where both AT&T and T-Mobile have service and Verizon doesn't. Like that's a thing. And it's honestly kind of, I don't know if I want to say funny or sad, but I don't know. At least in my market, even though Verizon has made big improvements from a capacitive standpoint, like it's very clear what C-band has done for them, and they're doing well with the fixed wireless and stuff like that. They wouldn't be like my starting pick unless I was just caring about like phone call quality. And if I'm just caring about phone call quality, again, I'd probably just go with AT&T. I've never had a dropped call to deal with here in Vicksburg on AT&T. I can't.
All
Even,
right,
can't remember one.
we got Reader John in the house. Reader John, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, start, bench, cut. You got
Yeah.
Dish, T-Mobile, and AT&T. Start, bench, cut.
That's easy. AT&T, I'm gonna have to start because they're just showing up everywhere in town here.
Mhm.
Verizon is that
No.
band
I didn't let you pick Verizon.
No. I'm just giving commentary.
Okay.
Verizon is that band 13 Live, so yeah. There's little spots of Dish, so I haven't really gotten to try them. And then T-Mobile, where you at?
Okay, so you're starting AT&T. You're benching.
I'm gonna have to bench
Dish, and you're-
Verizon. I'm gonna have to bench Verizon just because like they're here. I wouldn't say they're great, but they're here.
Okay, so you're starting AT&T. You're benching Verizon.
Yeah, and then Dish, I think they're here. I just haven't been able to find them. And T-Mobile is definitely cut.
Okay, so if I gave you the three options, AT&T, Dish, and T-Mobile, you're starting AT&T. Who are you benching?
Oh, okay. Dish.
And then you're cutting T-Mobile?
Oh yeah.
Damn. Damn,
Wait, I
son.
gotta
Yo,
ask a question, Reader John. Are you benching Are you excuse me? Are you benching Dish only because of the fact that if they don't have native coverage, you're able to roam on AT&T? Is that your rationale? Because if so, I understand it. Otherwise, I'm flabbergasted.
Yes. That's my
Okay, so
logic, actually.
it's just the roaming on AT&T. So Sneed, he picked AT&T twice, essentially.
Damn it, Dennis. You're such a menace.
All right, Sneed, let's get your picks.
all right, let me get to the guess and I'll do mine. All right,
Oh yeah.
Chuck, you ready? I'm gonna give you three. You gotta start, bench, and cut, okay?
Okay.
All right. Start, bench, or cut. T-Mobile, Dish, AT&T.
Start AT&T, bench T-Mobile, and cut Dish.
Okay, now I'm gonna mix it up. Start, bench, or cut. T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T.
Start Verizon, bench AT&T, cut T-Mobile.
Okay. Let me get Ryan in here. Ryan, I'm gonna give you three. You tell me your start, bench, and cut.
I'm gonna start AT&T.
T-Mobile. Well, hold on. I'm gonna give you three to choose from. You got to start, bench, or cut these three.
All right.
T-Mobile, Dish, AT&T.
Where I live specifically, it's really become start AT&T, bench T-Mobile, cut Verizon.
I didn't give you Verizon.
Oh, okay.
You got to
Dish.
use the
Dish is the
three.
other-
He said Dish.
Right,
in
it's
there.
Dish. So
Yeah.
it's Dish, T-Mobile, or AT&T.
Sorry about that.
Start, bench, cut.
Okay, so that's just the big three now, right?
No.
Okay.
No,
Leave
he said
Verizon out of this.
AT&T.
T-Mobile,
Dish, and
AT&T,
T-Mobile.
Dish. Those are your three options. Start, bench,
Yeah.
cut.
Start
Those three.
AT&T, bench T-Mobile, cut Dish.
Okay. Now
Sorry.
let's take Dish out. T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T. Start, bench, cut.
Start AT&T, bench T-Mobile, cut Verizon. I have a surprising
Ooh.
reason for that because in my area they have massive market share and they haven't done diddly squat for the network. And I think people here are getting tired of it. I'm starting to see people switch off mainly to AT&T, but there's a few stragglers that went to T-Mobile as well. So
I'm surprised you didn't
in
bench
St.
Dish.
Louis, AT&T and T-Mobile are both really good, and then I would say Verizon. They've started to get serious up there again, but there was a while where they just let their foot off the pedal. I've been kind of surprised by that because
All right,
most of the time they had Verizon, it was really solid, but like the last year, it declined bad.
All right, let me get the network nerd up in here. Network nerd, listen to these three. Give me your start, bench, and cut. I want to offer you Dish, T-Mobile, AT&T. Start, bench, cut.
So Dish, T-Mobile, AT&T.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'd start with T-Mobile, bench AT&T, and just cut Dish.
Okay,
And,
so then we're gonna cut Dish, and now we go to the big three: Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile. Start, bench, cut.
So I'd start with Verizon, T-Mobile. I guess bench AT&T. I don't think I'd cut either of them.
You got to cut one. Verizon, you're gonna start. So who do you bench? T-Mobile or AT&T?
Man, that's hard. For my market in Chicago, man, I think I'd cut AT&T.
Oh,
And
damn. Okay.
Doesn't AT&T have a ton of
Wait,
millimeter wave in
hold up.
Chicago?
I was about to say, doesn't
kind of.
Chicago have like T-Mobile speed islands?
What'd y'all say?
I said, doesn't T-Mobile have speed islands in Chicago?
I believe so. I mean, because Dennis, he said that AT&T should have millimeter wave. I see quite a bit of nodes, but for some reason, the nodes that I've seen AT&T put up, they've only mainly been LTE C band. I
Yeah,
don't
they're
know.
the crown.
Yeah.
They're the Crown Castle Nokia gear. That's what they've been putting up out there for some of their small cells, 66 with 30 on there and 29
Yeah.
and the whole
man.
shtick on their LTE set. But I know for a fact that Chicago got some millimeter wave sites. You guys should have some down by the football field.
Sneed, you know, it'd be a great question to throw in there though.
Yeah, go ahead.
What device are people using to connect to these towers?
True.
Oh, we could do that
That's
too.
That's a big.
We could do that too.
That's a big factor.
Yeah,
We
if you
could
don't
do-
have
we
an
could do that
iPhone
too.
14,
I'll come back around. Let's do that. I'll come back around and ask you guys the question with 3 devices. But let me get Donald in here. Donald, start, bench, cut, Dish, T-Mobile, AT&T.
Start AT&T, bench Dish, and cut T-Mobile.
Cold-blooded.
That's better than cutting them.
All right, let me give you the new 3. Start, bench, cut, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile.
Verizon is a start. AT&T would be a bench, and T-Mobile will be a cut. Get that nasty crap out of here.
Ouch. Cold-blooded.
All right, Donald, one more, man. Start, bench, cut, Verizon, AT&T, Dish.
Start all 3 if I could.
Oh man, he likes the 3 of them. Look at him.
I haven't tried Dish yet, but if I could try it for free, it wouldn't be too bad.
Oh, okay. So you can't really answer that one. So I guess it would be your cut because you don't know it. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I would probably cut your cellular because I can get by with the N77 speeds at my home with both AT&T and Verizon. But your cellular, it seems kind of to be in the 40s or 50s Mbps. But why pay for that if you can get something that's like 3 times that or more?
Sure. Yeah. Facts. Dennis, you want to give me 3 to start, bench, cut?
Start. Yeah, actually, but mine's more of an interesting one that you're not going to expect.
Okay.
Mine's more focused on MVNOs. So
Okay. All right.
here are your options: Mobile X, Visible, US Mobile.
I'm starting Visible. I'm benching Mobile X, and I'm cutting US Mobile.
Ooh. Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
The reason, I mean, I almost wanted to cut Mobile X because it doesn't. It's not the true unlimited experience, but I don't want that to be the reason that they get cut. I think because they have Verizon as the MVNO, US Mobile as the MVNO, and then Visible as the MVNO. It's not really about the network at that point, right? It's really about the plan. It's really about the other stuff. So Visible, if it's the Go MVNO. It's like there's so little downside. Right? There's just a couple of things.
I was sort of expecting you to actually pick Mobile X as your start, and hear me on the reason why. You're like a premium user in my mind, right? Like you got the unlimited hotspot with Verizon, which I know you rely on. I know you hate cap video like I do. I would have thought you would have picked Mobile X because of the fact that they don't have really any hotspot restrictions, and then for video that you can get the uncapped and the custom access, which, while from a pricing standpoint, it's more expensive than Visible and US Mobile. I thought that you might have, as a premium postpaid customer on the OG goated unlimited plan, I thought you might have picked that due to that being the closest from access.
You know what? That's kind of my bad. I guess I was looking at it from just the consumer offer. You know, maybe I didn't really look at it from a personal standpoint. That's kind of me. You're basically right, Dennis. That's true. If I'm doing it from my needs, you know, you're probably right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey,
because
can I add
the
something about
visible
the
restriction
financials?
for video is kind of annoying, dude.
And the
480p
5 meg
video.
hotspot capped at
5 meg hotspots, like, you know, it's not the end of the world, but I mean, the Mobile X is superior with respect to like higher end access, right? The gigs are premium, straight up.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, but the US Mobile is a hard pass because I find more value in the Mobile X and the Visible. I think both of those companies do more things better. Like US Mobile's got like the add-ons, like where you pick like a streaming service stuff, but that doesn't mean anything to me. You know.
I'm gonna ask you another bench
start bench cut.
And I'll do it for the postpays now, the regular stuff. Okay, you got AT&T, T-Mobile, Dish.
AT&T, T-Mobile, and Dish on network access.
Whatever everybody else was doing, but yeah, I assume network access, sure.
I'm starting AT&T, I'm benching Dish, and I'm cutting T-Mobile.
Okay. Start bench pass AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile.
AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. I'm gonna start Verizon. I'm gonna bench AT&T. I'm gonna cut T-Mobile.
Makes sense. I kind of expected an answer like you expected mine.
Yeah. And it's solely based on reliability of network. That's basically how I did that.
Okay. I do want to ask one more MVNO pick, and this one will be especially hard for you, I think. Max, I'm going to mute you because you're echoing. But this one will be especially hard for you, Sneed. Mint Mobile, Metro PCS, or US Mobile's GSM offering?
Starting Mint. I'm benching. Wait, it was Metro PCS?
Yeah, Metro
PCS. It hasn't been called that since 2018.
Metro by T-Mobile. Sorry.
There you go.
Okay, I'm starting Mint just because I think their value is incredible. You said US Mobile GSM? What was that?
Yeah, they have a GSM unlimited plan offering. They have two networks. You can pick between your Verizon, which they call super fast or whatever, and then their GSM one, which is the T-Mobile network.
I don't like Metro, man. I'm cutting Metro. I'll put US Mobile as my bench.
You're not liking the nada yada yada?
No, I hate that shit, bro. I don't like the Metro brand. I don't like the Metro. I don't like what it's become, I guess. There was a time where I thought it was really competitive. They got rid of a lot of value, with this new T-Mobile stuff. I was
one of their first customers back when they only operated in LA.
Man, Metro's plans though, Sneed, I would have thought, again, you surprised me. I would have thought for sure that would have been like your pick because they do have an unlimited plan. It's essentially akin to Magenta MAX. Essentially.
Bro, I don't like Metro, man. I don't like the business
one line
model.
Unlimited for $25 when you port and bring your number.
I know. I don't like them, man, and I don't like the network access. A neutered version of T-Mobile sounds like trouble.
Okay, how about
go ahead, Dennis.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna do the same thing with AT&T, but you finish your thought. Sorry.
Okay, no, I'm good. Go ahead.
Okay, so for AT&T, Cricket, AT&T prepaid, Red Pocket.
Oh, come on now.
All right, I'm cutting Red Pocket. I'm gonna go ahead and start. I'm gonna start Cricket, and I'm gonna bench AT&T prepaid.
And Max, I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't think of a third AT&T option. So
Red Pocket, goddamn son. Let me get Los in here, man. Los just joined us. Los, you with us?
Yep.
All right, Los, you ready for start bench cut?
What?
All right, here's your three choices. Start bench cut. AT&T, Verizon, Dish.
Verizon, start, Dish, bench, and can. Who was the third one?
AT&T.
Can them.
All right.
What?
All right, Dish, AT&T, T-Mobile. Start bench cut.
Dish, start. I can bench AT&T and can T-Mobile. Dish works good for me.
Okay. And then start bench cut. AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon.
Verizon, start. God, this one's going to be tough. I'm going to have to say bench T-Mobile and cut AT&T.
Damn.
Wait, what happened in your market since the last time I talked to you, Carlos?
AT&T sucks, dude.
Have you seen his recent tweets?
No,
It's getting pretty bad, bro.
No
I stay
coverage.
off the Twitter.
Ask EM. He was here. Ask him.
All right, guys, we're gonna switch this up because we got through all the network stuff. Let's switch it to phones. You guys ready?
You see my
Absolutely.
comment?
All right. Let's start with Dennis. I'm gonna pick 3 devices, man. Start, bench, cut. Google Pixel 8 Pro, Samsung Galaxy S23, iPhone 14 Pro.
Easiest answers in the world. Cut the Google Pixel immediately. And then between the S23 and the iPhone, that one's a little harder because I would like the other modem, but honestly, start iPhone, bench the Samsung, cut the Pixel.
Lowe's, you heard the 3. Start, bench, cut.
Hold on a second. I'll come back. Just skip me.
Okay, 0 cool. Start, bench, cut. S23, Google Pixel 8 Pro, iPhone 14 Pro.
Yep, I would start the iPhone, bench the Samsung Galaxy, and cut the Schitzel.
Network nerd. I got 3 phones for you. S23, iPhone 14, Google Pixel 8 Pro.
So
Start, bench, cut.
networking, I would say I'd
Everything.
start with
Yeah, just the whole shebang. Got it, everything.
damn. So I'd probably pick the iPhone too, then the Samsung, and then just cut the Pixel. So I'd bench Samsung, and yeah, start with the iPhone.
Mr. Ryan, start, bench, cut. iPhone 14, Samsung Galaxy S23, Google Pixel 8 Pro.
So that's the 14, not the current one, right?
Just the 14. Yeah, exactly. 1 year back. Yep.
Then I'm going to go, if it's the 14, I'm going to go start Pixel, bench iPhone, cut Galaxy.
Ooh, somebody doesn't like the Galaxies, it looks like, huh, Ryan?
He doesn't like it.
I kind of got burned over the whole Galaxy Note battery.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm not going to revisit that. It's ancient history, but it's still hard for me to go back to Note after that.
Ryan, you should definitely address that in therapy, bro.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it.
That's funny, man. All right, Chuck. I know what you're gonna say. Start, bench, cut. Pixel 8 Pro, iPhone 14, S23.
Start iPhone, bench Galaxy, cut Pixel.
Yeah. Reader John.
Yes, sir.
See my
Start, bench, cut. You got the iPhone 14, Pixel 7 Pro, Samsung Galaxy S22.
S22.
Oh no, excuse me, S23.
I'm gonna start with the S23. I'll bench the iPhone, and pixels are dead to me, so I'm cutting it now.
All right, let's get Donald in here. Donald, start, bench, cut. S23, iPhone 14, Pixel 8 Pro. Donald, can you unmute yourself?
Oh, hello. Am I here now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you hear the start, bench, cut options?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I'll go with the iPhone as my primary. The Samsung is my secondary, since from what I've seen online, they still allow you to sort emails alphabetically. So it would be like taking a MacBook with me and using the Mac mail, except in the palm of my hand. So that'll be easy. And I'll just be carrying both. And I can take or leave the Pixel. So I'll just bench it for now. I'll bench the Pixel and have both the Samsung and iPhone as my starters.
All right, let me get Vince in here. Vince, S23, iPhone 14, Pixel 8 Pro.
I'd have to say start with the S23, bench the 14, and cut the Pixel.
We got a lot of cutting of the pixels, man.
It's that modem,
Sheesh.
bro. It's that modem. I tried it. I hate it.
It's not just the modem, dude. Google. Listen, listen. Nexus 6P, one of my favorite phones of all time, but it had that whole issue where the battery just kapoof. And when they came out their whole Pixel line, ever since they started the Pixel line, the Pixel one, although they were willing to give me one as a replacement, the Pixel one was a downgrade to me the Nexus 6P. Pixel's come a long way, but they've had problems with screens. Their processor's garbo. The modem's garbo. It's a mid-ranger phone being sold at a flagship price, and I am not a mid-ranger customer.
I don't know. I kind of disagree with the Pixel 8 Pro since I had it for like a few days. I mean, it felt premium this time. It's just the networking sucks. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that matte back, it felt like forgive me for saying this, but it felt like silk panties, bro. It was nice.
When I talk about premium, I'm not talking about the actual feel. I'm talking about like what the actual experience is and like and the performance is. I.e., I'm talking about battery life. I'm talking about how quick it is and to use the app and how the apps are optimized. I'm talking about camera performance. I'm talking about which Pixels are good for single still shots. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to take that away from them. They're really good at that. But
the video's improved too.
Nah, video on Android's still terrible compared to iPhone. It's always been a weakness on Android. It doesn't matter if it's Samsung or Pixel. Video's just not good on Android. And then there's the networking piece, which that's also really important.
Yeah, here's the networking on it.
Is the iPhone faster? I can't tell which one we're
The
looking at.
iPhone is like twice as fast, and it's on the same plan.
Yep. And the iPhone probably has
two
the older
different
modem.
lines on the same plan.
Well, essentially, the modem hasn't really changed since the Pixel 7.
All right, let's try this one then. All right, we'll start with Dennis. Samsung S22, iPhone 13, Pixel 8 Pro.
Sneed, you're gonna have to clarify something for me because it's gonna impact my decision drastically. Does the iPhone 13 support the DoD plus C-band combo on AT&T? I can't remember.
No, I don't think it does.
I don't think so.
Okay. Then Galaxy S22 is my starter. Bench the iPhone 13, cut the Pixel.
Oh, shit. Lowe's, Samsung Galaxy S22, iPhone 13, Pixel 8 Pro, start bench cut.
I'm gonna have to agree with Mr. Dennis. I'm gonna go with the same category. 22, bench iPhone, cut the Pixel.
Damn. Guys, there are 2 years between these phones.
And yet it's still not as good.
But their modem is like 3 years behind.
Zero cool. Pixel 8 Pro, Samsung Galaxy S22, iPhone 13.
Oh, I'm just gonna give the same answer as last time. Start iPhone, bench the S22, and Pixel. Just let it burn. Sorry, bro.
Man.
Burn, baby, burn.
All right, network nerd. Pixel S22 or Samsung Galaxy S22, Pixel 8 Pro, iPhone 13, start bench cut.
Probably the same thing. iPhone, start with iPhone, bench Samsung, and cut the Pixel.
Does anybody not want to cut the Pixel out of those 3 phones?
Honestly, I'd probably start the Pixel.
I had
the
I had
chase
the
here
Pixel
with
4
why
back in
people
the
hate
day.
the Pixel. Can we?
I'll tell you what. If they put the Qualcomms back in the Pixel 9, I'll put it in there.
Yeah,
That's
if it had a Snapdragon
exactly.
Gen 2, if it had a Snapdragon Gen 2, then I'd be down.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. Yep.
The best Pixel phone that I ever had was the 4XL, dude. That was like the last best of the best.
Yep, Pixel 4 is the best. Same here. That's the last Pixel I have.
agree
Is
with
Pixel
that.
4.
I concur.
Hey, but I got a good question that will actually be hard for everyone to pick on this panel, all right? Because I know what Sneed's going for. Google Pixel 8 Pro, Galaxy A54 5G, or iPhone SE 2022 third gen edition? Sneed?
I'd start the Pixel, I'd bench the iPhone, and then I'd cut the Galaxy.
Okay. Zero Cool. What's your pick on those?
Start the iPhone, bench the Galaxy, and just cut the Pixel again.
The network nerd?
Let's see. Probably start with the Pixel, bench the iPhone, and cut the Samsung.
Ryan?
Start the iPhone, bench the Pixel, cut the Samsung.
Okay. Reader John?
Can you refresh me, Dennis? What modems are in the
5G from Samsung, iPhone SE third gen. So this is the one that's 5G capable.
Yeah, no, I got that, but what do you know what modems were in there? That would kind of factor in.
Samsung's probably a 6 series processor, Snapdragon.
The SE third gen had the Qualcomm X57 5G inside.
Okay. And the A54 5G, I think, has. Is that a newer one?
That is a newer one.
The X70, I think.
I believe it has
X52, X55, X53.
Trying to find for you. I know it has an Exynos processor inside. I don't know what the modem is at the top of my head. What I can tell you is that from a performance standpoint, it performs pretty much on par with the X60.
Okay. So I'd start the A54. I would. That's hard. Oh my goodness. I think I would actually go with the Pixel for the bench. And I don't think I'd use the iPhone.
Well, that's why I set it up that way, because that was the only way to get people to actually even consider the Pixel was the point. But joking aside, I'll do one more that's a little bit more comparative, and we'll see how the Pixel fares. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
iPhone 12 Pro Max, Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra, Google Pixel 8 Pro. Sneed, starting with you.
Starting the Pixel 8 Pro. What was the iPhone? A 12 Pro Max?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cutting the Galaxy. So iPhone bench.
Okay. Carlos, you next.
iPhone 12 Pro Max, bench the Galaxy, can the Pixel.
Zero Cool.
Same answers as Lois. I think we should do CEOs next. Wouldn't that be fun?
Sure. Oh shit.
That'd be interesting.
All right, sure. But network nerd?
Let's see, probably start with iPhone, bench the Pixel, cut the Samsung.
Okay. Ryan?
I'm going start iPhone, bench Pixel, cut Samsung again.
Chuck?
Okay, I'll start with Pixel. My question is, I'm not familiar with the Samsung. Did it have 5G at that time?
Yes, the S20 was the first Samsung. Or no, the S20 was the second generation of Samsung having 5G.
Okay, all right. Then I'll bench Samsung, cut iPhone.
iPhone was 5G as well, by the way. FYI.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Reader John?
Oh, crap. Oh, Lord. We're kind of getting in like territory where it might actually make the Pixel sound good.
That's kind of the point.
Yeah, but it's just not there yet. So I'd probably holy crap. Man, I hated that iPhone 12 Pro Max. That battery was trash. I don't remember about the S20.
It's
though.
brand new out the box, 100% battery health.
Yo, we gotta simplify this. We can't keep doing all this, bro.
Yeah, it's getting crazy. Yeah. I know. I think in that instance, I'd go with the Pixel and bench the iPhone and cut the Galaxy this time.
All right, Vince.
I'd say start with the Pixel, bench the 12, and then cut
the Samsung.
And Bergrada.
Yeah, I think I would go start with the Google Pixel because the other stuff are trashy by comparison in terms of the compatibility. And the second one would probably be the iPhone due to the fact that I probably want to have an extra iPhone laying around to swap eSIMs back and forth with my existing iPhone. So. And then I'll just cut the Samsung because I don't want a trashy Samsung that's gonna give me a pain in the neck.
Samsung S20 wasn't trashy. Oops.
All right. I think it was
spec. In terms of the radio bands, it would be like hell.
I think Zero Cool wanted to do CEOs. You set up the 3 start bench cut. Zero Cool. Go ahead. Set it up.
All right. It's going to be between Hans and AT&T Stanky and T-Mobile's. Who's
Mike
that guy
Sievert.
again? Sweaty armpits.
Sweaty armpits.
Mike Sievert.
Eugene.
Yeah. So I would, for me, I would start the Stank, and I would, I would bench the Hans, and I would
bench the
cut the sweaty armpits from the team, no matter how much he sweated. Mm-hmm. Los, what you got?
The Stank first. Let's see.
So you're starting Stank?
Yeah.
Starting Stank.
Okay.
We're gonna bench Hans, unfortunately, because I hate Eugene and he gotta go.
All right. So you're cutting Eugene. Got it.
All right.
You calling the next person. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Let's go, Dennis. Go ahead.
I just want to ask one clarifying question when we're picking these CEOs. Am I basing it off of am I viewing this through the investor lens, or am I viewing this as me as the consumer? And how
overall, I think Dennis tried because the CEO they have duties, they have perceptions, it's the whole shebang, the whole package.
Overall, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Stanky is easy number 1. Like that one's easy for me to pick.
Wow, man, he's sweeping so far.
You gonna start
however, and I know this is gonna hurt. It hurts me internally, but I'm gonna pick Mike Sievert as my bench, and then I'm putting Hans on the cut list. And my reason is because Mike Sievert brought back dividends, and I love dividends. So hey,
nice.
I'm honest about it.
Yeah, it's good, bro. Look, I love the context. It brings a new element into the fold, man.
All right, network nerd, you're up.
Man, this is like the hardest question y'all asked tonight.
Damn. That's why we pay Zero Cool the big bucks, man.
Man, honestly, they're not all that great.
You gotta pick them. Go ahead, man.
I'll probably start with Stank. Man, I guess I'll bench the Sievert, and I guess I'll just cut Hans.
That's the second cut for Hans, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so like right now it's 2 cuts for Hans and 2 cuts for the Sievert, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Ryan Fraley.
Okay, I am going start Stank, obviously.
Obviously.
Right now, I'm going to flip my normal cut and bench. I'm going to bench Hans and cut Deceiver.
Sweet.
Which is not my normal take, but I noticed DT has this Thorsten Langheim coming in from Germany to the U.S. Is he here to oversee Sievert? It seems kind of funny. DT is concerned about the Sievert now, and maybe that's because of the whole rate plan debacle that happened.
Rocking the boat a little bit. Yeah.
Nothing to do with the data breaches there.
That's what should have done it. I agree.
D. Sievert's going to get a spanking.
Yeah. All right, Chuck, go ahead.
All right. So first of all, I'm gonna cut sweaty armpits. As for who I start and who I bench, I'm gonna flip a coin. Support the start. Heads, Hans, tails, Stinky. I guess Stinky, you start.
Yeah. All right. All right. Reader John.
All right. I'm gonna start the stank. I'm gonna bench the Gators. And I'm gonna cut this. What's that Sudanese guy's name? Swati arm.
It's French. Yeah, Swate.
Swate. All right, Borgranta.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the AT&T guy, the Stank, and benching it will be Hans because he hasn't alienated almost all the entire base like this moron that I'm gonna cut at T-Mobile.
Okay.
Wow.
Vince.
I'd say start with Stank, bench Hans, and then drop Sievert in the trash.
Cool. All right, Mr. Sneed.
All right, man. I am going to start. Actually, let's go the other way. I'm going to cut Deceiver. Dude's a lame. He's a loser. I think he's the biggest piece of shit in telco. All right, so I'm cutting Deceiver. He's like the worst thing. He's the worst thing to ever happen to customers. He's the worst thing to happen to the industry. All he wants to do is consolidate the market. All he wants to do is change people's rate plans. He doesn't have the balls to raise prices. He's literally the worst.
I'm glad we didn't put Charlie in there.
Yeah, he's pretty shitty too. But he didn't ask about Charlie, so we're leaving him out. All right, bench. I'm going to bench the Stank, and I'm going to tell you why. A month ago, I would have said start Stank. Today, I bench Stank. He's been doing nothing, well, between him and his leader, his executives, complaining about not having enough spectrum, yet they decided not to buy more C-band, and they decided to put all their money and all their eggs into the fiber basket. And then they're going to sit here and complain. So screw him. He's getting benched. I'm going with Gators for the start because I believe in the network vision. I think what they're doing on a national scale is the move, and they are the fastest growing broadband provider in the country that doesn't give away free lines.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even let Charlie on the team. He wouldn't make the team. He would just.
Hey, if you want to throw Charlie into this, we could do that too, bro.
He's at tryout.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, he's pushing a dumpster that's literally on fire right now.
He's the water boy.
You better not put Charlie in here, bro.
Hey, the water boy don't deserve that.
I would love to see him in
Some
person
high
and knock
quality
his ass out.
H2O.
Yeah, Zero Cool and Sneed. I got a really good one for you guys, and this one's going to be a hard one, I think, too, for y'all. Charlie Ergen.
Oh shit! Here we go.
Damn,
Mike Sievert.
Oh,
I know it.
Marcelo Claw.
Oh damn, bro! You just literally brought up the garbage can residue of the earth, bro.
That's why I did it. That's why I did it.
Bottom.
That's why I did it. And Sneed, you're the man of the hour. You first.
Oh damn.
I believe that's what Steve calls trash or trash.
Yeah. Damn, son.
Good one, I gotta, makes you think.
I gotta start Mike Deceiver, bro. Are you serious?
Oh wow.
I gotta freaking start Deceiver.
I guess so.
God damn, I gotta start Sievert. I'm gonna. Oh man, I gotta.
Feels dirty, doesn't it?
I'm not gonna let recency bias. Yes, I am gonna let recency bias take over. I'm gonna bench Marcelo, and I'm cutting fucking Charlie, bro.
All right, Carlos, let's hear your thoughts.
Oh dear.
Oh, shit.
Bro.
It's
You
terrible, man. This is awful. I hate you, Dennis.
This is you brought the wrong person for this one, bro, because he fucking basically made me. Basically, I'm in the verge of filing bankruptcy because of
That's
fucking
the
Charlie.
reason why it's a good question.
So he could fucking go to hell, and if I see him in person, I'll knock his ass out. So he's a trash. All right, and then you got, you know what, bro? I cannot say Eugene first. So I'm about to say, as much as I hate Marcelo, I'm about to say Marcelo, and then bench fucking.
You're starting Marcelo, dude.
Unfortunately, bro, because I will never put Eugene first ever.
Man, that's tough. I hate you, Dennis.
I mean, that's why it's a good question.
It's not a good question. It's the worst question.
You say that, but it's making people think.
It's making people cry.
No, this isn't hard. I would start Marcelo Claret and all 300 pounds of him. Can you imagine him on the court?
I heard he played soccer overseas. Is that true?
With that face, yeah, he did. In Bolova, yeah, he did.
Bro, he does have a big face, actually. Now that you mention it,
yeah, like can you imagine him playing basketball or anything else? Yeah, I would bench Ergen, and I would cut T-Mobile.
Okay. Network nerd?
God damn. I'll probably shit.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll probably damn, that's really hard. You know, I'll probably have to start with Mike Seaver. I really don't want to. Honestly. I'll probably bench what are the other two picks?
Marcelo or Marcelo? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to bench Marcelo, Charlie.
By the way, every time someone says damn is the reaction I'm looking for with my questions. Ryan, you're next.
Okay. Sievert is literally Luigi winning by doing nothing here. I'm starting him. Marcelo is terrible. I'll bench him, and Ergen. Woof.
Trash or trash.
Trash is being too kind. Probably more like dog poop in his case. But
all right, Chuck.
Basically, same answer as Ryan.
All right, Reader John.
All right, so I'm going to cut Ergen because of what he's done. He pretty much brought all those people out to Colorado, and I mean, well, you see what he's doing to those. So you can go,
he sent him to a farm up north, old prairie style. Yep.
Yeah. And then I'm kind of with Los on like the whole Mike Sievert thing, so he's definitely gonna be benched. I'll put Marcelo at the start there.
Yes.
All right, Bagrada.
I'll just junk them all.
Okay, Vince.
That's an option. Yeah. Wait. Oh.
No, but I'm accepting it. Yeah, I have a better one that I want to ask.
That's all of our answer.
Well, no, I'm accepting it only because I have a better one I want to ask. So, Vince.
We still got Vince?
I guess not. All right. Here's a good one. This is like perfect for Dennis. All right. Christopher L. Winfrey.
Oh my God.
That's the CEO of Charter.
That's CEO of Charter Spectrum.
Oh yeah, I know.
Brian L. Roberts.
Oh God.
and Laurent Threvel, who is the CEO of US Cellular. Sneed, you first.
God damn, son.
This one should be easy in my eyes, but you continue.
All right.
Who was the second one?
I'm
Comcast CEO was the second.
I'm gonna start. God damn, bro. I'm gonna start Winfrey. I mean, he's literally like the worst though. Like he's just a straight up liar. But but I'll start him just because the company's bigger and they make a lot of money. All right, I'm gonna. Oh my God, man! What the hell? All right, I'm gonna bench. I'm gonna bench the U.S. Cellular guy, and then I'm gonna cut the Comcast Roberts.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yep.
god.
I think Brian Roberts has mismanaged the company. I think they've gone all about their upgrades
I
wrong.
hard disagree.
I'm
What
gonna.
he just started DOCSIS 4.0.
They literally are selling their Spectrum assets to T-Mobile. Their DOCSIS 4.0 is slow to upgrade. Their 600 megahertz they never built. Their CBRS they're not going to build. It's just all tomfoolery and bullshit, and they're liars. I hated answering this. Somebody had to win. It sucks.
Hey, come to Pittsburgh and you can experience the CBRS if you like, Sneed, from Comcast. Anyway, just get some Xfinity Mobile first. Carlos, you're next.
Bro, I don't even know none of these people, but all I'm going to say
CEO
is
Charter, CEO of Comcast, CEO of US Cellular.
CEO of Charter, because Charter at least is doing right by upgrades. So these are
Upgrades, right?
Yeah. And I'm at the bench of US Cellular, and I'm at the can the Comcast. Unfortunately, sorry, Dennis.
Jesus.
Bro, Comcast is trash, bro. Don't you understand? Why are you in denial?
Bro, you've seen my performance on stream multiple times.
I don't care what happens to your premise, dog. I'm looking at the whole shebang.
I'm just saying that's not been my experience with them, man.
All right.
Anyways, you're cool.
Yep, here we go. You guys will love this. Okay, so we're going to start Winfrey for Charter. We're going to bench Comcast. And then for the cut, we're actually going to do a substitution because I don't like US Cellular. And we're going to cut Cox Communications.
Well, I didn't put Cox on there because I knew that would be the answer from everyone on the panel. So
hey there, buddy.
And I keep it family friendly.
Can't be talking about your future employer that way there.
Network nerd, you next.
All right, probably start with Charter. Charter CEO. I guess I'll bench Comcast, cut US Cellular.
Okay, Ryan.
Okay, I'm going Winfrey first as starter. I'm going US Cellular guy is kind of not done anything, and he kind of gets to the bench because of that. I can never say anything good about Brian Roberts, king of Comcast. He gets cut.
Seriously, the Comcast empire is not faring well. Okay, Chuck.
It's trash, bro. What the hell do you expect?
And yet it's like the octopus. It's like that little caricature you see in school with the government.
You're literally in denial, bro. Accept it and move on, man.
I mean,
I'll start Spectrum. I'll bench US Cellular, and I'll cut Comcast.
I mean, I just want to say, by the way, remember, US Cellular is literally trying to sell themselves. So, Reader John.
Oh gosh. I'm definitely going to cut Comcast because I just want to see Dennis cry. And then let's see. I think I'll bench US Cellular because I don't know what's going to happen to them because they're just dying. And then I guess I'll have to start Charter just by default.
Okay. All right. I got one more, and I promise I'll hand the reins over. This one's actually legitimately good. Peter Adderton. David Glickman.
Who?
David Glickman was the CEO of Mint / Ultra / founder.
Okay.
And then Ahmed Katak, who is the founder of US Mobile. So Peter Adderton, David Glickman, Ahmed Katak. Sneed.
All right, so I'm thinking. All right. I'm going to start Adderton. I'm going to bench Glickman, and that it was close between him and Adderton. And I'm going to cut Ahmad. Yes, I'm gonna cut him.
Okay. Carlos? Carlos, you still in the building?
He's probably busy. Go ahead and move on to the next person.
Zero cool.
All right. I would start Ryle Reynolds and everybody that worked at Mint. And I would bench the Mobile X, and again, I would can U.S. Cellular and take what. Oh, U.S. Mobile. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll make Talks the founder of U.S. Mobile.
Yeah, I would still cut U.S. Mobile.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Network nerd.
So I know one of the picks was Peter Adderton. What were the others?
Peter Adderton, founder of Mobile X. David Glickman, founder of Mint/Ultra Mobile. Ahmed Katak, founder of US Mobile.
I'd probably put the founder of US Mobile probably last. I'll probably put Peter first, and then you know what my second option is.
Okay. A lot of cuts for US Mobile. Surprised. Okay, Ryan.
Okay, I'm going Adderton first. Not so much because of Mobile X, but because he was the one that originally built Boost. I'm going with Mint guy as bench. Although I gotta give him credit, he did secure the bag for himself and that company. And that counts for something, I guess. And then US Mobile, I just don't get what the big deal is. I gotta cut them or that CEO. So
okay, Chuck.
Adderton, Glickman, Ahmed.
All right, Reader John.
I think I'm going to do start Glickman. I'm going to bench Adderton because that's Brandon's future father-in-law. And then I'm going to cut US Mobile.
Wait, what's the joke? What's the joke with this? I missed
that shit's crazy, bro. That shit is crazy.
Okay,
you would know if you wanted the meats, bro.
I haven't been invited to the meets in a minute, but anyway, Vince.
I'd have to say start with Mobile X CEO, bench Mint, and then cut US Mobile.
And then Bograda.
I'd go with starting the Mobile X CEO, benching the Mint Mobile one, and then cutting the other one because US Mobile has a tendency to make it hard to port out from what I've seen on Twitter. And same goes for the US Cellular CEO because he has a tendency to lie to the FCC about their coverage.
All right, did everybody go?
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to say, Dennis, you're literally the worst at picking these. You give us like the worst options. All right, so this is gonna be the last one because I gotta get to bed so I can get up for work tomorrow. But this is good, the one I thought of. All right, there's no bad stuff in it, and it's not all bad stuff. So listen to this carefully. Start, bench, cut. 100 gigs of hotspot, 4K video resolution playback, or N41 access. Start, bench, cut, 100 gig hotspot, 4K video playback, N41 access, 5G UC.
So this is assuming this is all on the T-Mobile network only. Like I wouldn't have access to.
No. This is just 100 gig hotspot, 4K video, or N41.
Okay. Well, start for me is easy. 4K uncapped video, and then bench. Bench hotspot because you said I'd still have access to other stuff like at 77. So bench hotspot and then cut N41.
Los.
100 gig hotspot to start because I always need that. We can bench the video cam to 41 because it doesn't even work for me, so I don't care about it.
All right, Zero Cool.
I would start N41 because it's on hashtag BidBidMan. Okay. I would bench the 4K video. All right, and then I would cut the 100 gigs of hotspot, because the reason I would cut the 100 gigs of hotspot, because sometimes not everybody needs 100 gigs. You can do like 50 gig or 30 gig or whatever. So
I mean, yeah, but I felt like if I cut it, it was no hotspots, so that's how I took it.
yeah, well, you should have done like low band, mid band, and millimeter wave. We'll see your answer by then.
No. All right, let me get network nerd in here. 100 gig hotspot, 4K video, N41.
I'll probably start with N41. Probably bench 4K and cut the 100 gigs of hotspot. I don't really use hotspot personally.
Ryan.
I'm going start N41 because for a lot of the people in the rural areas around where I live, that's a really only good option for home broadband. I'm gonna bench the hotspot. I mean, that's a nice thing to have, but it's not super important. I'm cutting 4K video on a mobile device because most devices don't even support the full 4K on that. So,
all right, let's get Chuck in here.
I'm gonna start 4K. I'm gonna bench the hotspot, and I'm gonna cut N41 with the rest of T-Mobile.
Radio John.
Okay, I'm gonna start the hotspot. I'm gonna bench the 4K because I'm blind. I don't care. And then, but because I hate T-Mobile more than 4K, I'm gonna cut N41.
All right, Vince.
I hate T-Mobile, but I'm gonna have to do start 4K and then bench N41 and then cut the 100 gig.
Donald.
I would go start 4K, bench N41, especially if it gave me a my own serving thing straight to my window, because then I'd get real good N41.
All right, I
have
guess
to pay extra for that antenna.
I guess we'll do one last one just because I brought it up with the N41. All right. But it's a little bit modified. All right. 5G UW, 5G plus, 5G UC. Start, bench, cut. Dennis, go.
Ugh.
The easiest one.
Am I basing off of real world experience or best case scenario?
I mean, you've been using them. Just do it.
All right.
Don't complicate it. Just do it.
Then,
Yeah.
okay.
Real world.
Start 5G plus, and that wasn't really a clear one, but start 5G plus because it's been really good after the whole expansion of N77 for AT&T. So start 5G plus, bench UC, cut UW.
Damn. Los.
Let's see, 5G UW. That's gonna be first start. Then 5G UC bench, cut 5G plus. It's trash.
Zero cool.
Same as Los. So.
All right, Reader John.
All right, start 5G UW because there's no touching it. Oh man, I can't believe I'm gonna say this. I feel so dirty. I'm gonna bench 5G UC. And I'm gonna cut 5G plus.
Chuck.
I'm gonna start 5G UW. I'm gonna bench 5G UC. I'm gonna cut. I I guess right now it's called 5G plus, soon to be 6GE.
Damn.
Let's get Ryan in here.
I'm gonna have to start in 41 as in 5G UC here first because it's the only one available in the small town where I live. Then I'm going to bench 5G ultra wideband and cut 5G plus.
Network nerd.
All right. So for me, I'd probably start with 5G UW, probably bench 5G UC, and just cut 5G plus.
Insanity.
Start with 5G ultra wideband. Bench 5G plus and then cut ultra capacity.
And Donald.
I would start 5G UW because that's what I'm running 99% of the time when I'm home. And I would bench 5G plus. So it works just about as good, but it can be screwier at times. And I would cut 5G UC because it's screwy 99.9% of the time.
Oh, man. All right. I'll do... I'm going to start 5G UW because N77 for Verizon is really good here. Plus, you get millimeter wave, and it's legendary. Nothing like it. Then I'm going to go 5G plus. Just better uplink than the 5G UC. There's just something wrong with 5G UC here. It doesn't matter if it's NSA or SA. The uplink is just trash. I don't know. Like once you go beyond like a quarter mile, half mile, I have no idea what happens.
That's what's great.
Could I speak for a second real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
With 5G ultra capacity in the Cleveland market, I've seen it where you get a 500 downlink and then maybe a 1 or 2 uplink. It's
same thing. Same for me. So and they tell me, and Vince, they tell me I cherry pick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like here you are unsolicited. I never told you to say that.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to say, which is interesting, Sneed, is I used to see the bad uplink too here in Pittsburgh, but I don't know what changed in the last month or so. But and I sent you the text, but my uplink has gotten better with T-Mobile, and if we're talking about other places that aren't Pittsburgh, T-Mobile tends to get the highest uplink. Like
it's the other bands. It's the other bands. It's the band 2 aggregating with the band 71, aggregating with the band 66.
Yeah.
It's literally the other frequencies. N41 for uplink is trash.
Sure.
I would rather have 10 megahertz of N71 doing my uplink than 160 involved in uplink from N41.
Well, we gotta feel bad for Mr. Ulf because he's like undoing all the trash that Devil the Pebble did. So.
Also, can I say that I'm beginning to wonder if Sneed's market is properly configured for TDD and 5G for N41 if the upload is that low. Because something has to be wrong at the core level for that to be that consistent and that trash.
I'll take PCS for uplink. I'll take AWS for up. I'll take any other frequency for uplink, and I'll be satisfied.
The Cleveland market uplink with T-Mobile is just not there.
So
well,
Steve,
when
Dish
dies, you might get your wish.
I mean, I've noticed it in Chicago too. I mean, it's been getting a lot better uplink, but it could be the other bands that help it.
So Sneed, I also just want to say really quickly on the topic of uplink discussion, the reason why Verizon went on the bottom for me, and I don't know if you've seen this in your market or not, but ever since the turn up for the spectrum for the UW for midband, uplink kind of got destroyed here for some reason. You're talking about like cell edge and stuff like that. It has not been a
for which frequency?
For N77.
Which provider or both?
Verizon.
Just Verizon, so not AT&T.
Not AT&T.
Yeah, so it's the power levels because with AT&T puts up the 2 air antennas. right? So they can run power to each of them individually. Verizon's got to broadcast 2 channels, splitting power. The one's 100 megahertz, and the other one is what, 40 or 60 for you?
Yeah.
Right. So that's what's happening. So you lost power, and it's, you lose a little bit of signal quality.
Well, TLDR, I straight up can't even connect to UW anymore at my house. I used to get weak signal and be able to connect.
Yeah, you were on edge. Now it's gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, what's going to fix that, it's not just the power level situation. What's going to fix it is when they take 20 megahertz off the 100 megahertz channel and add it to the 60 or the 40, because then they'll be able to distribute the power better. The less there is, if you have a whole 100 megahertz channel, it's not going to propagate as well as, let's say, like 280s or 260s. Zero Cool. You can clarify that for me.
Yeah, that's correct. So anytime you have to, anytime you do like a carrier aggregation, you think of it as you have to take power. You're taking the power and powering up 2 carriers instead of just one big one, right? So
Zero Cool, do you think there's going to come a time where Verizon starts sending up another N77 antenna radio?
No, because they're gonna combine.
What about in a market where they have 200 megahertz of C-band?
No, the goal for all markets is to use one antenna, and I'm trying to remember. Verizon's got DoD, do they, or don't do that?
No DoD.
What other
CBRS, but it's low power. It's not even MIMO.
Yeah, I think in future spectrum auctions, the goal here again is to like kind of just maybe like a 3.1 auction or something. It's just to carrier aggregate. So I think they're just. I don't think they need to necessarily throw up a new antenna. They just need to get a better, a combined antenna, better radio, if you will. So we'll see what future spectrum auctions hold. Maybe the 13 gigahertz, right? Because that's actually going to be really interesting if that comes.
There's this Ericsson panel that's coming out that can do 650 watt instead of 320. I know that.
Right. Exactly. So that's my point. So with the 650 watt, you'll be able to carry ag, 2 or 3 carriers all off of one antenna. So that's the benefit of it. So. Mm-hmm.
What's the state of massive MIMO with the different carriers right now?
It's a mess.
That's a vendor situation, actually. It's not really about the carriers. I mean,
it's a mess.
Unless the carrier doesn't want to pay. So, like, when you go massive MIMO, the shit gets more expensive.
Yeah,
like, basically, like what T-Mobile did here, they're using massive MIMO on probably less than 25% of the tower sites.
Are there even any phones that can support massive MIMO?
Yeah, of course. That's the trouble's not the phones. We're talking about the signal that the send receive, the antenna elements, right? So if you've ever, I don't know if you've ever seen a cross section of a massive MIMO antenna, you see all these little tiny like antennas within the antenna. And like I saw, it was an Ericsson C-band panel for AT&T, massive MIMO. I looked in there and it was incredible how many little antenna elements are in there. What that does is it improves like signal strength, signal quality, the enhancement it offers for like, say for example, like uplink or range. It's just a game changer. When you don't use massive MIMO, you know it. Your uplink from distance is weaker. The general performance is lesser. So like here, when I'm on an AT&T or a Verizon massive MIMO site, it's fantastic. T-Mobile, when you're on a massive MIMO site and when you're not. They totally skimped out the Nokia gear. It just stinks, bro, if it's not massive MIMO.
Yeah, I know Nokia stinks, and I know Ericsson's good. What's the state of Samsung? Because I know
everything they've deployed in Ohio seems to be massive MIMO. I don't know about other states, but that's all I find.
Okay, because I wasn't sure, because I know Verizon's kind of even keeling between Ericsson and Samsung.
You know what, Reader John? Verizon does not want to put up cheap shit. I know that they've done it in some occasions because of either supply constraints or whatever, but they don't really want to do it because, dude, they neglected their network for a long time in certain places.
That's why they dumped Nokia.
Yeah, they don't want to have to. They don't want to have to go back and climb some of these sites that are.
I gotcha.
They don't plan on going back for another few years.
I gotcha.
But the problem is with how they went with Samsung. They're having a lot of problems with Samsung. I'm hearing more
Yeah, but
problems.
that's quality
with Samsung
control.
Market.
That's not because it's not MIMO, massive MIMO. It's because of quality control issues, dead radios and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I don't know, bro.
Even their
That's
LT
all.
stuff, the CBRS stuff is problematic too, from what I hear.
Here's what
Ericsson
I
is
find
the
ironic
king.
on it. Go ahead, Los.
No, I'm good. I just said Ericsson is king. That's
Okay,
it.
here's what I find ironic. The two strongest carriers in St. Louis are AT&T, I'd say number one, and T-Mobile's a very close second, and they both use Nokia. Ericsson is what Verizon uses in St. Louis, and it's not as good as the other two there, and I'm kind of baffled by that because
So
Honestly, I gotta say AT&T is the weakest in St. Louis.
really, because
Yeah.
Well, it depends what part we're talking about. Like, my parents lived in like the Maryland Heights area, and Verizon was trash there.
yeah,
But if you go,
primarily
like,
I'm in the burbs though. I've not tested
Yeah.
it very much
Yeah,
as far as
me
AT&T
too. I'm
goes in the
all
city.
over the city all day, and
yeah, like the city's
I've
really
had
good
all
for
three,
AT&T.
tested them everywhere extensively. I mean, with the Ultrawide, it's twice as fast as AT&T's 5G Plus, and then T-Mobile's pretty neck and neck with Verizon, from my experience.
Yeah, because the city's a little different. Since I've started going in there, I've noticed they have more millimeter wave in the
Well, I
city.
mean, I'm all over. I'm driving all over the whole St. Louis
Just
area
don't use
every day.
T-Mobile at the Arch, okay?
Here's what I'll say about gear. The Nokia gear, because Pittsburgh has a lot of Nokia small cells from AT&T that are all over the place, and then everything else. Nokia gear for me hasn't really had any problems recently. I remember when AT&T first put out their 5G Plus, and it was really bad. But whatever changes they've been doing to optimize that, especially after the light up of the rest of their C-band and then their DoD holdings, has been performing tremendously. They're the only carrier in Pittsburgh where I can point out quite a few sites where I'm getting well over a gig on midband, well over a gig. As far as Samsung gear goes, I haven't been incredibly impressed with it. As mentioned by the recent changes of the spectrum lighting up, I guess there's power constraints. That kind of sucks. That's like a downgrade. And then as far as Ericsson goes, Ericsson definitely makes the best gear. However, the one thing that I don't like about them is they've been very anti like supporting like ORAN and stuff like that. And to be honest, with how close Nokia performs from a performance standpoint compared to your Ericsson's gear, I don't even know if it's like we're talking like a 10%, 20% difference at best on the 5G side, and on LTE side, there is almost zero difference between Nokia and Ericsson. That's my take. Sneed, I don't know if you agree with me.
So it's Ericsson that's like anti-Open RAN. You're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense because they've got a leading position as far as like non-Chinese equipment, basically globally in the market.
So I actually think Nokia is the sleeper right now. But Sneed, what are your thoughts? Do you agree with me on my assessment about LT versus 5G and the performance differences between the two?
I don't know, man. It's hard. Like, so far, I can evaluate 5G, and I could say that it's slightly underperformed. I think just the fact that you got all this spectrum on air, bringing all this capacity is fantastic, and it opens up the fixed wireless access opportunity and stuff like that. So I love those things, but some of the dependability issues exist. Some of the DSS stuff is a miss. I until we see like true standalone 5G, and I don't even consider what T-Mobile is doing as true standalone. I have experienced Dish, which is a true standalone 5G network, and that seems to be pretty good. My only concern, right, when I look at is I know what LT was and what it is, and it never got the bandwidth that it could have had with aggregation and stuff like that. So who knows what it could have pulled off?
Mhm.
But I guess theoretically 5G is supposed to be superior. It's not there yet. I mean, is it more reliable than LTE? I'd say no.
Well, it depends how we measure performance too.
Well,
Like,
Sneed,
Yeah,
okay.
real
our
quick.
5G
Sneed,
now is what LTE was supposed to be.
well, Sneed, real quick on the topic of what LTE could have been. I was in South Korea where the spectrum was there. Getting gig on LTE is not like that outrageous. That was totally possible. And 5G is supposed to, in theory, be able to get like 4 gig or mid-band. In theory. I don't think we're going to be seeing that anytime soon, though.
I've gotten almost 2 gig on mid-band. That's the best I've gotten.
Oh, we've had phones that have been able to support gigabit LTE for a long time now. We just never saw it.
There was never any spectrum to do it. You know, the closest we ever got to it was some kind of CBRS thing with Verizon. You know, that was really it.
And
You know
I
what?
guess, okay.
No, go ahead, finish up, bro.
I was just saying, it depends on we base performance. Like, I'm not one of those guys that just sits there in a straight corner, just tapping on the little go button on the speed test. Like, for me, it's how I conduct business and when I'm traveling and stuff. If my phone like has a hiccup when I'm on a Zoom or a Teams or whatever, then that's not a good network, right? I mean, it
No,
kind of factors into the latency capacity. Yeah, it's there, but I mean, I don't need a gig down all the time. I mean, sometimes just 200, 250 is good, you know? So,
well,
and not even
the
that.
speed metric is always just it's a proxy of the available capacity, right?
Capacity, yeah.
So as long as there's enough for everybody that's on that sector,
Mm-hmm.
then the speed's arbitrary. It's really about the capacity of holding up for all the users and their usage, right?
Yeah,
If one
I know.
person's using 2 gigs or 2 megabits and another person's using 10 or 5, it really doesn't matter. It's dynamic. You just got to be able to support the usage.
I think the latency is more key than how whether you have 1 gig everywhere. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, time to content matters, right? If I click on
Yeah.
a video to watch and the wheel spins for 10 seconds,
Yeah.
and then it starts
Or-
playing the video, and if the video is interrupted, I mean, those are all dings, right?
Yeah.
Or if it's not a video, let's say it's I'm sending a file, or let's say I'm downloading an app. I mean, I've done this on my channel where I've downloaded what is it, Call of Duty on my phone, 5G UC, 600 megabits. It takes 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
It should not take 2-3 minutes, but there's something else going on within the network,
Yeah, I mean, I guess I have to rephrase it. It's like if I have to think about why the network's doing something, then that's not a good network. If I don't have to think about the network and why it's doing what it's doing, then that's a good network.
Yeah.
You just get going with your day, and if it works, then you're doing good.
I mean, AT&T's LTE network here performs great. I can download Call of Duty on my phone in a minute, 5 seconds.
I'll take their LTE over their 5G plus.
It goes back to like when I was driving OTR and I'd pull into a truck stop at night. When I had T-Mobile, 50-50 shot. Am I going to be able to use my phone that night while I'm there in the sleeper? Verizon, I just knew it was going to work.
Mm-hmm. What was Los going to say earlier? I didn't mean to cut him off.
Los, you there?
Oh, bro, I honestly forgot what I was gonna say.
Sorry,
I'm just busy working right now, 3 apps. So.
Oh damn! Speaking of work, man, I got work in the morning, guys. I got to go bake some bread.
All right, Sneed. Thank you for having me on as always, my friend.
Thanks to everybody, Network Nerd, Donald, Vince, Reader John, Chuck, Ryan, Lowe's, Dennis. Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
and
everyone.
everybody else who stopped by today. Max Tech Studios, B, Moose. Thank you, guys. Big salute to the SMT Nation.
All right, y'all have a good night.
Big shout out
Good night,
to
y'all.
the supporters. We out this piece. Peace.
All right, night, y'all.